Warm greetings from the high 10. It's almost the witching hour here in East Tennessee. I want to bring you commentary that's new in the queue pertaining to Scott Peterson. There's information pertaining to a female juror who has been deemed not giving all the truth pertaining to her past while being a juror on the Scott Peterson trial. And now all that has come to fruition, and she is being given immunity, being offered immunity to testify in a deposition in a hearing to determine if Scott Peterson deserves a new trial. My question to the chat and to the public is, do you think that Scott Peterson deserves a new trial because this woman did not tell the prosecution and the defense team that she had been physically abused by her lover, boyfriend, husband, whomever at that time? Let me say that people lie. That's just the way it is. Most people who go sit in on a jury or to be weighed in as a juror, a potential juror, will never tell the whole truth pertaining to anything. I don't care if it's racism, if they've been abused, if they've lied, stolen, been a victim of some type of crime, sexual assault, if they've enacted crimes themselves, who is going to tell the whole truth? And I think we know this in many cases of racial profiling, abuse of power, civil liberties being abused. Most people never tell you that they're racist. They ask you, each lawyer, are you racist? Do you like black people, Jews, Arab, whatever? You'll say, no, I don't have a problem with anybody. But deep down inside, you may not like black people or Arab or this group. You want to be on the jury panel. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so someone's been abused, molested. Are they really going to tell the truth? Yes, I was molested at 5, 10, 12, or I was physically abused by a boyfriend, husband. I was beat up. Possibly not. That's what's going on in this said information that I'm going to bring to you. News Nation is the source. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $Beganji129 Cash App. Also, Super Chat to welcome to the live. The link is at the top of the page if you want to join the panel to give your opinion pertaining to this mess that is brewing out in California. Should Scott Peterson get a new trial? God forbid he gets a new trial and something else jumps out of the bag. What are the odds that he could possibly go free? Because he has been incarcerated for some time. Thank you for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello. Hi, Kristen. How are you doing? Hello, Alicia. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the popping in, honey. I've got so much content I want to bring you. Thank you so much. The next content I do want to bring you is pertaining to Love Fraud documentary off of Showtime. I want to recap that because I finished watching it. It's a very interesting story. So if you have Showtime, please tune into it. It's an older TV series, but I really want to talk about this guy because I want to know where he is, what is he doing, and who's new on his victim list. Because I think this will be a very interesting live pertaining to this fella from the docuseries Love Fraud. Check it out, Showtime. Showtime is running a special right now, $3.99 for 3 months. And after the 3-month trial, you will be billed $10.99. You can get this deal through the Roku app or through your Roku TV. If you go through the regular app, the deal will just be $10.99 a month. But if you do it now through the Roku app, you can get Showtime for $3.99 for 3 months. You won't have to pay until May. It's a good deal. I signed up for it because I wanted to watch Love Fraud and I wanted to get the deal. So just a suggestion to some of you who may be interested in purchasing you a premium channel. For those of you who do not have any premium channels, such as Showtime, Stars, HBO, go through the Roku app and you can get a deal with Showtime, Stars, combo package to your choosing. Just go through the Roku app and you'll get a cheaper deal than going through the individual app. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, who done it? How you doing, baby? I see you up late. All right, everybody, let's get this party started about Scott Peterson. I hope to get some feedback from you all because this should be, a very interesting. This is a very interesting topic. We thought this situation was put to bed, but it's not. It's come back. What is it going to be? Here we go. Thank you for joining me.
Case involving Scott Peterson, convicted of killing his pregnant wife, Lacey, and their unborn son. Nearly 20 years later, prosecutors will offer immunity to a juror who sat on that trial back in 2004. They want to hear from her and what she has to say, and that could impact Scott Peterson's future. News Nation's Michael Shurry is live tonight in Los Angeles with the very latest on this case. Michael.
Marty, that's right. It was 2020 when Scott Peterson was last in court, and at that time he had his death sentence commuted to life in prison, and it's going to be Scott Peterson back in court again, trying to get an entirely new trial over his murder conviction from 2004, and this time it's going to be based on juror misconduct. It was a murder case that captured the country's attention 20 years ago. Scott Peterson, convicted in 2004 and jailed for life for the murders 2 years earlier of his wife and unborn son in Modesto, California, is currently seeking a new trial based on bias and misconduct. Now prosecutors in Stanislaus County, California, say a juror in that murder trial has been awarded immunity to testify in an evidentiary hearing as a judge weighs whether to grant Peterson's request.
And they feel that could be very substantial to the decision as to whether a new trial should take place as a result. So the fact that they're offering this immunity shows they really mean business in this matter.
The juror in question is Rochelle Nice, who failed to disclose on a juror questionnaire during selection that she had been beaten by a boyfriend while she herself had been pregnant. Los Angeles criminal defense attorney Lou Shapiro says this could create a case of jury misconduct.
Peterson's lawyers are going to be able to argue that this is not just so what, that the fact that this juror was a real victim of domestic violence and was pregnant and almost was walking in the shoes of this victim in this Peterson case, that was just too much to take a gamble on, and she should not have been a sitting juror in this trial.
With immunity, Ms. Nice will be free to speak about what happened to her prior to her jury service without fear of being prosecuted for failing to disclose such personal information under oath. Peterson was convicted of the December 2002 killing of his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson, and the son she was carrying, transporting her to a boat and dumping the body in the Pacific Ocean, first saying she had disappeared. Their bodies would wash ashore more than 3 months later.
And it is a very emotionally charged case. So that in and of itself raises the stakes, but gives us all the opportunity more to learn about juror misconduct and how the process handles it when it comes up.
Marty, Lou Shapiro told me today, he said there's a lot of pressure on this judge because let's say he thinks that there was jury misconduct. Let's say that because this juror sat for the entire case and voted to convict Scott Peterson, yet she actually, as he said, walked in the shoes of Lacey Peterson because she had the exact same experience herself with domestic violence and domestic abuse. If that happens, then it's up to the judge to say that the conviction stands regardless of the fact that this was a poor juror in this selection because of the preponderance of evidence. So a lot of pressure on that judge. That case will be heard in Redwood City, California, beginning February 25th. Marna?
All right, we'll be following it. Michael, thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red.
All right, everybody, that's Nate's, newsnationnow.com. If you need any verification for the information, it's in the queue. You heard the information. This lady is going to testify to deposition. She's been offered immunity in this said situation pertaining to Scott Peterson. Mercy. What is it going to be? All right. Got me one victim. Thank you so much. Whodunit is so faithful to the queen. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The
Have to
queen.
bring you new content, honey. Have to bring you new content.
I hear that.
Yeah, I was debating on some old mess, and then I said, "Nah, I'm gonna give that a rest." Something that was on my mind.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about my love fraud. I should have probably put that in the title too, because I really want to talk about that really bad.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
The lady didn't tell the truth that she had been abused. Somebody told it. I'd like to know who that was. How did they find out? It is now an issue of Mr. Peterson getting a new trial, possibly after they do this deposition with this said woman who's being offered immunity. So, what do you think?
Well, did it just slip her mind that she had, been beaten? And
Don't you stop. Who done it?
well, I mean, I just can't imagine that any juror, they ask these kind of questions, and there had to be some sort of deceitfulness.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, because I see where you're going with this. So so what are you saying, sweetheart? You feel like what, she lied to the attorneys?
Maybe she didn't lie. Maybe she just didn't respond.
Okay.
Chose.
How do you feel about if she deliberately lied? Let me ask that then.
If she deliberately lied, then listen, I'm no fan of Scott Peterson, and I don't wish him well at all.
Okay.
But if she lied, then that throws a lot of, because that makes her biased or prejudicial, even on a subconscious level.
Okay. So let's as I compared all the other scenarios, you know, a lot of people are racist.
Oh, absolutely.
Average people are racist. They won't ever admit that they are.
Yeah.
You had an issue with a black man, a Jew, Arab, you've been taught a certain way. You know, the average person is not going to tell the truth.
That's true.
How do you feel about an Arab man? How do you feel about jihad? How do you feel? The average person is not going to tell the truth. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think the average person will tell the truth.
Well, you're right about that. I'd have to agree with that.
So that's what I'm saying.
So how are you going to seat any jury? Because somebody sitting there's got something.
And that's my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is going to tell the truth about the given subject matter and their real feelings and intentions on being a juror?
Yeah, because you don't want to reveal that. You can't stand up and say, "Hey, I'm prejudiced."
Well, you can say that. Yes, you can. You
I'm
can
a
say,
big.
hey, yes, you can. You can say, "I don't like black people. I don't like Jews, and hell no, I don't want to work on this jury." Or yeah, I don't like Jews, but I want to be the juror.
That'd be a quick way not to have to serve, right?
Okay, because there's going to be somebody who will possibly be honest.
Yeah.
Hey, I had an issue with a Jew. I had an issue with a Jewish customer, boss, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And may just tell the truth and still see and wait to see if somebody would pick them.
Yeah, just wait and see if somebody will bite.
But I just don't honestly think the average person is going to tell anything pertaining to the crime itself, any in relation to their own life, personal feelings, upbringing, things that they witness. You know, think about it. No different than a murder. Maybe it's a murder trial. And who's really going to tell, yeah, my auntie was viciously murdered by a man or a serial killer or a sadist?
Yeah, or even that maybe they once murdered somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't want to reveal their secret self.
Exactly. And I'm not going to tell you, I've done some old heinous stuff. Could be a trial about fraud or robbery or theft.
And everybody's quick to say, oh, no, I'm not a racist. Because, nobody wants that label.
And that is the reason why I want everyone to think about what she allegedly did by not revealing that she had been in an abusive relationship. Should she have revealed, I guess this really should have been a two-part title. Should she have revealed in the original jury pool that she had been abused?
Yeah.
Or does it matter? And should Scott Peterson get this new trial with the said information that has been revealed? That's the question.
Right.
Join the panel if you'd like to give your opinion pertaining to the information that I just brought you. Thank you, honey. Go ahead, honey.
You always give such good information, and then you turn it around and give a great commentary on it that nobody would have imagined. You come so out of left field sometime, and then you make absolute, complete, logical sense.
Thank you, honey.
It drives me crazy.
I know, because you know what it is? Because, like I said, I listened to the last live part of it, and I probably came off a little bit hard to some of the people on the panel a few hours ago, and I will apologize for that. What I want people to do is to think.
I know what you were doing.
Because we as people don't think about stuff. We just automatically come out in a race car and start talking.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's true. I do try to think somewhat. I'm limited by a brain that can only do just so much. I work it.
Listen,
I do work it.
Gray hair.
Gray hair and no brain. It's hard. But anyway, yeah, you have come from an interesting point of view on this, and that gives me pause to say, okay, well, let me think about that.
Yes.
Was
Because if
she
we were to go back,
compelled to reveal it? I don't
well,
think so.
you are asked to reveal anything that would cause you to be biased.
Mhm,
That's an
mhm.
expectation of you
Okay.
as a juror, potential juror.
So that makes me think maybe this woman is highly intelligent, and these things did happen to her, but in spite of that, she felt confident and she could set that aside to listen to both sides and make a good judgment. Maybe she trusted her instincts. Not
Well,
saying she should have, but she could have.
okay. So,
Do you think she
well,
could?
I'll ask you. Maybe I'm not
Yeah.
asking you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think she was truthful or no in the beginning?
Well, if she had to be deceptive on some level, because they're very thorough when they are vetting a juror.
Right, but
They're
see,
looking.
but they couldn't have been too thorough. We wouldn't be talking about
I
this.
was just going to say that somebody dropped the ball.
Yeah, I brought
Didn't ask
content
the
about
right
that a few
question.
months ago
Yeah,
about that situation,
yeah.
and I'll have to go back and dig it out.
Mm.
But I can't remember how it came to be. But it's out. The cat's out now. So that's my question: is how was it revealed? Is it even relevant?
Well,
Because
maybe
we have 11 more people who are also jurors.
True.
And it's not like somebody stood over them with a gun and said, hey, put Scott Peterson down. You know what I'm saying?
True. And it could be that she was anticipating that question and she would have answered it honestly had she been asked. But since nobody asked, she went on through. You know, she may have been.
Well, I'm sure somebody probably did ask, how do you feel about, they probably asked
domestic violence and murder of a wife. Yeah.
I don't know what questions they asked or didn't ask, so I can't even go there. But I'm sure they asked something, I would assume, but pertaining to problems with men and women. But that's another thing. Do we even know that question even came up? Because to my knowledge, that was never mentioned in this trial period that the woman was ever abused.
Yeah, and I threw that out there without thinking.
Yeah,
do you have a problem with a husband murdering his wife, or some more pointed question,
right?
Or a pregnant woman being subjected to murder? What are your feelings on that? Those things certainly hit close to her situation. But if they don't ask, have you been the victim of an attack of this nature? Then unless they, like you said, we don't know what they asked.
Right. Don says waste of California tax dollars. Scott Peterson is guilty.
Well, I personally believe that he was too, but I think justice was served.
Okay. Do you think he should get a new trial after she gets her deposition pertaining to whatever they're going to ask her? And this was going to determine him getting a new trial, this deposition.
Right, depending on the things that she reveals in that deposition, and they are promising her immunity, if I understood you correctly.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so she can actually say whatever led her.
That's the whole point of the deposition. She can say whatever she wanted; it's not going to be held against her.
Right.
So she can tell the truth about whatever.
Depending on what she reveals or how she handles that, I guess the judgment could be made whether or not he should, in fact, deserve another trial. But I would lean to think, and I just hate to think of it, but he might quite possibly get himself a brand new trial because of this.
Say it again, so I didn't hear you.
He might possibly get another trial.
Okay.
Depending on how she answers.
But how does whodunit feel about him getting a new trial?
It would make me sick.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I want him to he has a right to be tried by a jury of his peers, and to a fair trial. I mean, that's what we do. We try to do here in America. We uphold that standard. I don't think it happens in every case.
Yes.
And so if I'm thinking just strictly legally, I'd have to say, okay, well, looks like you got yourself a new trial. But if I'm
Right.
speaking personally,
Mhm.
I just think, oh, I don't know. Ooh,
So let's go here,
okay.
which is part of my question. Imagine all the trials that have ever taken place in history, the secrets that people held while becoming a juror.
Oh, yeah. See, now you've made me think about a broader scale
Because
of,
it is broad.
yeah. And humans
How many people have
serve.
lied in
Yeah.
order to deliberately become a juror
Mhm.
or didn't care either way, but still lied?
Correct. Yeah. I don't. I guess it's possible to set bias aside. Although I got to tell
I mean,
you,
some
I
people
think
say,
it'd be very hard.
I've heard of people say, honestly, they may ask a question, well,
Mhm.
how do you feel about this? And the person might actually say, well, I feel like I can be a juror despite me wanting whatever.
Yeah.
Yay, nay, whatever.
I used to be a trial junkie, and I would hear that process ongoing, and I have heard people say, but I believe I can set that aside. You know, because look, we're all flawed in some way or other. We've all got a thing we deal with on the interior of ourselves, and I like to think that whatever I may think is I'm able to set that aside to be fair to somebody who's on trial.
Okay.
Trial's a serious thing, especially a murder trial. You got to be very careful, and like you got to sit there and think.
Yes.
Because people they do play tricks with each other and play games and can be very clever in their presentation to skew things. So
But like I said, in this situation, like all trials, it is more than the one person who has the alleged biasness found out or whatever. You still have 11 other people who came to the same conclusion or met up at some point to the same conclusion.
Absolutely, great point. Yes, that is the beauty of the system.
And so I wonder now how many people were nay.
Like how many people who thought he didn't do it,
right, or were reserved.
Yeah. I've kind of touched on this before. You have the gift of discernment, and I do, and I have it to a certain extent. And just something about him from the jump, I just didn't trust. I had a feeling about
he
him.
was a liar.
Yeah.
And CBS did a movie bio on the case.
I think I saw
and it was
that.
very eerie.
Yeah.
When I watched that, everything's loosely, of course, but the thing that got me was not helping. Let me get this right. He was there when they were doing the search. They were setting up the search for her. He was, I think, participating, but he was talking to the other woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
One time he lied to her when he was involved with the woman and told her he was in Paris.
In Paris.
I would have thought of because I'm a realist.
Yeah.
What the hell is a regular Joe doing in Paris?
In Paris. Right.
Let me tell you something. I had someone in school, a little young boy I was cool with. He had a little sugar in his tank. He was a little sugary. At that time, I didn't think no more about it, but we all know he had feminine ways. But he lied a lot. And that was something that I noticed about him as a friend. He lied. And I knew he was a liar. And one day I told him, you don't have to lie to make friends with me or people. Because people will like you better if you just tell them the truth. Because he was Caucasian. Naturally, I'm African American. We all come from different lifestyles, backgrounds. But I believe he was ashamed of who he was. In general, not just if he was that way or not. I think it was more of a financial thing. I don't think he wanted to be middle class or whatever class he considered himself. And I felt like he was ungrateful. you understand?
Yes, I absolutely do.
To make up the wildest things.
Yes.
If I could tell you the stuff that he did during our high school senior year, you would be just floored. And I will share that because I don't have anything to lose about sharing it. But I think of that pertaining to Scott Peterson, just the vagrant lying, where he lied about that Paris thing. First thing to me, I would have thought, what is he doing in Paris? Because the first thing I'm going to think about is, one, your financial status, what type of work you do.
Right.
You do something that will require you to go to Paris. So I think she knew that he did. I forgot what he did for a living, but it was basic work. Nothing.
Right.
Lavish.
He sold something. Yeah.
Okay. So with his work title, I think that would have been my first real gut feeling. That ain't right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I absolutely do. I think that he has he had a certain amount of charm, and what is that girl's name that he was involved with? I think I'm trying to think of her last name. I can't remember. Whatever. Anyway, a certain amount of charm to sort of win somebody over. And first thing they know is, wow, I don't know a thing about this guy, but I'm real into him. And so then they choose not to ask those questions.
Well,
because they're having a big old time by that time.
I got my gift of gab naturally from my father's side of the family. They were great talkers. Okay. My father was a very smart man. He knew it was kind of eerie. He knew something about everything. I mean, the most mundane things. This man was like, he had knowledge of everything. And it was like, how do you know this? My father, you just ask a random question. He had an answer. Okay.
That's where you get your curiosity.
That's where I get it from. Yeah. So this is something my father told me as a young woman. He said, to end all the hoopla, jumping through this hula hoop with a guy, man, go to his place and you'll know where he stays, which is just common sense.
Yes.
So that's really number one. If a man can't take you to his home, that should be a red flag.
Suspicious, yes. Why can't you take me to your home? What's in your home you don't want me to see?
Right. So however they met, why couldn't he take her home? Did she ever ask him, why can't I go to your place, condo, apartment, whatever? What was his answer? And why did you continue to date this man and not go to his home? Because that is a red flag no matter who you are.
I couldn't agree more.
Every scam artist, every catfish, whatever, every dog liar, that is the first art of the con. He or she cannot take you to their home.
Amber Frey. Thank you, Stormy Nights. Thank you very much. Amber Frey. It was driving me crazy. And you're right, Queen. If you can't, a person's home is what reveals who they really are. And if they won't take you to their home, there's something they don't want you to know about who they are. Yeah.
But see, that's just something a woman should always think about.
Yes.
Because a lot of women have, some really high standards of what type of men they will and will not date. And that really should be the one. He can't take you to his home at some point while you two are talking. You start to get to know each other, start trusting each other. You start feeling comfortable enough to go alone with him. If he can't take you to his house, he can't take you inside of the house.
Yeah.
You can't go in the house to look around and say, this looks like this is his place. You have a big problem.
That's a great litmus test. That's the first test.
Because we already know that he never could take her to his house. So that means she kept talking on the phone, meeting with him in public, her place, however they did it, but never his place. That is your first clue when you can't go to the person's house. Yes, Addy, we said that. He was found guilty by others. Exactly. So that's why I said it's not just her flaws or whatever she went through, abuse. You still had 11 other voters on the jury panel. But my father said that to me once. First hint, can't go to his place, red flag.
Right.
So that's a red flag here. We already know this. What did he tell her? What did he say?
Did they live some distance apart? Maybe when he was in that area,
a little ways apart.
Yeah, and so that was kind of his excuse. I'll be in the area. I'd like to drop by, but she's never in his area. Something wrong with that anyway.
Of course. So, right. So that would be a good farce. We don't live near each other. A good way to lie, I mean.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll meet up on this day when I'm in town. Woo, woo.
Right. Or I'm working out in this area. Let's meet at the such and such a cafe.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. Keeping it away from the house.
But that was what drew me to his devious side was being around them while they're searching for this woman. He's talking on the phone during these times. Then he's lying about being in Paris when he was right there in the state of California. She's talking to him. He's sitting there talking about the fireworks. I mean, my stomach was turning because I was like, this MF is something else. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting here thinking this man is all the way across the damn pond and he's right up the road, probably an hour away.
Right.
It's diabolical.
And he was telling her that his wife had died. He had her sympathy.
All of that. See, the one thing begets another. Can't go to your place. You never take me to your place. Yeah, you're making up stories about this woman who, hell, you've killed.
Yeah, and saying, getting sympathy, saying my wife has died.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing, we ain't Google searching at this point. You understand? Well, I can Google your name if you actually gave me your real name, if I've actually seen your real ID.
Yeah.
Imagine Google then. He would have had to make up a name or something.
Oh, absolutely.
If went into Google, she'd see, hey, wait a minute. This man got a missing wife.
Right. A missing pregnant wife.
All of that. All of that.
She just did not dig deep enough until the story, these two people, he and Casey Anthony remind me of each other because he carried that lie so far. And he kept telling her, finally he had to break down and tell the truth because it went public, it went national. And then she realized who he was. And Casey Anthony leading those people up to that place where she supposedly worked. Just, I don't know what it is about that personality type.
But see, the thing about Scott Peterson, beside all the lying and the deception and killing the woman and the child, he was getting ready to do her the same because he put two and two together that 9 times out of 10 she was working with authorities. And see, this is the bang of the story. When they decided to arrest him, when in the trunk, he had what they would call a kit.
Oh my God. Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah, it was in the trunk.
Oh, my Lord.
Rope, knife, duct tape, all that type of stuff.
He was, yeah.
So what you have to ask yourself is the ultimate. Scott Peterson, what are you going to do with these items?
Yeah, what party have you been invited to with this stuff? Good Lord. You're right. He had to get rid of her.
And they let her know that.
He knew what she knew.
Dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, because her conversation started getting, inquisitive.
Correct.
They had already reached out to her, law enforcement, to let her know what type of person she is.
Right, informed her what was really going on.
So she probably started thinking, in her little quiet time, she's thinking back to probably the first time she met him, his conversation, what he said, didn't say, the times when she couldn't talk to him. And she probably started digesting all of that information and thinking, I'm thinking about this day, that day, this didn't add up, that don't add up. So then she went ahead, took the bait to work with them.
Yeah.
And they had to let her know, okay.
Well, they saved her life in that process because Amber was going to be next.
Yes. Ooh, they put two and two together because they were watching him and following him. So they were watching his every move. That's the scary part because let's say we're talking about a storyline where he wasn't being watched.
Well, right.
But if it was somebody else who didn't have no law enforcement following him around, and then lady number 2 comes up missing.
Wow. That blows me away.
Amber Frey was going to be next, sweetheart.
Yeah. She knew, because if your wife is missing, presumed dead, maybe foul play, and it becomes known that you're having an affair, boom, they're on you and case closed.
Yeah. It's a very wicked story.
It's like a Chris Watts thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you fast forward. Oh, yeah. And Evil Exists did a video on that, comparing his commentary to the other person, and Hollerville,
Mm.
and everything's a pronoun.
Oh, yeah.
Never calling the name. He never called his children's wife's name, and nor did this person over here in Tennessee call the
Right.
child by her name in a Facebook post.
True.
Because there's detachment. See, it's easy for me when I spin a story up here or talk about somebody randomly to eventually say him, her, them.
Right.
I'm not going to keep saying their name over and over. You understand? And even if I'm writing it down
Right.
or writing a comment, I'm not going to keep saying Bob, Bob,
Mhm.
Bob. I'm going to
True.
start saying him, he. But if you're personally involved with the person, you're expected to say their name at some point when you're speaking about them.
Murder changes people. It changes their psyche. And they do have to distance themselves from that act because it should be in
But weren't they distant?
everybody's DNA.
But weren't they distant in the first place? That led to the act anyway.
Well, of course, distant on another level. But once you kill a child, that it's in our DNA to be repulsed by any sort of act like that. And I could see I don't approve of it. They should have been yelling her name to the heavens, but that was the biggest tell that they didn't.
Yeah,
This is my child. This is her name. This is what she likes. This is what she eats.
Yeah,
This
but
is
you're
how
not
she
going to do that.
behaves.
See, that's why you know that there's something deeper than just the stuff that people are assuming about that mess. See, that's why I tell people you don't really listen. You see, everything's in the details, such as using pronouns only.
Mm-hmm.
You never used her name. Just like when I watched the commentary just a little while ago with the Chris Watts commentary, he said she and her at least 11 times.
That's right.
Clip that I watched.
Yeah, just couldn't bear to associate.
Yeah. Okay. So he's comparing that to over here where we are, and it's the same thing. She, her, her.
Mm-hmm. Very same.
I couldn't sleep without her. I wouldn't know what to do without this, but never say her name.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe you were already disconnected beforehand, because that's what leads to the crime. You had a disconnect before the person went missing and or dead.
Yeah, not to mention you got a side connection and a broken connection. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very selfish that people will commit these acts to have what they want in the moment. Passion and lust, man, they blind people.
Well, that's the whole point of how people get caught up. It's because you're wanting something that you're not supposed to have in the first place.
Right, and you're burning up for it, and you can't think clearly in any other way except I got to get rid of my situation because I want this new situation.
And obviously, he was spiraling in that I want to be free mode because he was once heavier. I saw the pictures of him when he was heavier.
Yeah, I did
too. When they were dating. He lost a lot of weight once married, whatever. So I think he started smelling his own funk, as old black folks would say. And he probably started getting attention.
Yeah.
And that's all it took.
Right.
Someone said something to him. Hi, how are you? Yeah. Conversation. Didn't even have to be an overt flirtation.
Yeah.
But he became enamored with someone or others. That's all it takes.
Yes.
Now we have a problem.
A very big problem.
But you know what scared me about him? He was very mild-mannered. Oh, I forgot to put a slash.
Yeah, he spoke very softly. He in his all his that interview he did with Diane Sawyer.
When talking to her in the text messages, when you watch the docuseries on Netflix, he never raised his voice. Even in the text, you can see he was mild-mannered. it was never any cursing or flying off the handle, any of that. That's scarier to me than somebody that raises hell.
Right. Almost like a zombie, sort of a robotic means of communicating. Yeah, hardly had any inflection in his voice. Always that one monotone kind of level. Yeah, that's scary too. No emotion. Incapable, possibly, of
See, but
real
my mother used to
emotion.
say that when I was a child, beware of the quiet ones. Because they make the most noise. My mother used to always say that. My
That's
mother would
right.
trip on it.
Well, yeah, because how many headlines have we seen where the neighbors are saying, well, he was a quiet boy. You would have never thought he would be capable of anything like this.
Exactly.
But there you go. They are most capable. The ones to worry about is the truth. Ooh.
Exactly. Very, very, very scary. When I watched that documentary and they would do her text messages in these little bubbles and make that little bubble noise, I don't know, it just really got to me watching her whole life unfold through text messages. You understand? Because that's how they narrated the story.
Right.
Pertaining to the woman and her kids. And you could see her just pleading, you know, why this, why that, and talking to her friend in the text and you don't touch me, this and that. And it's like, that is so disturbing to watch a person's last words.
Yes, it is. It is deeply disturbing and just so pathetic.
Yes. I mean, your last words, your very, very last words. People are dissecting everything said. And I remember somebody a year ago on my channel had made a comment, very rude comment. This female had said, well, you know, she had a shopping addiction. She liked to spend too much money or some bullshit she was saying. So I said, let me tell you something. So what?
Yeah.
That's a reason to go chop up, kill up your kids and your wife because the woman had a shopping problem. That was just a problem that either he could have chose to rectify or not.
That's a cut the credit card kind of problem. You don't, cut up the person.
That's all. That's my point.
Yeah.
So what? She had a spending problem. She and so many other people. You know, so kill somebody because what? They like to spend money. Come on now. It's deeper than that.
That sounds like the beginnings of cancel culture. You know, somebody like shop too much, so that kind of justifies why her husband killed her.
Well, that's what she found. That's what this person found wrong with this woman that she knows nothing about.
Well, yeah.
Because in the end, it's like all these stories. We don't know these people. We don't know the ins and outs of their marriage. Who said what to whom? Who was mean? Who was rude? Who was nice? Who had patience? We don't know them. All we know is when the people, friends and family start coming forward and start giving us information about he's like this, she's like this, and you decide to pick a side.
Right. When they start to get fleshed out, people start to form real opinions about them. Yeah.
Well, I don't know these people from Adam. And I don't care if she was snappy, if she was demanding, if she did have a shopping issue, spending issue. There's no reason to snuff out that lady and her kids.
Not even if she was a real bitch all the time, every day, morning to night.
Because why not just walk away?
Right. You got 2 feet. I love what the judge said to Don yesterday. I can't help myself. When he said he was just he and his wife were fighting and he was trying to get away. Yeah. And the judge said, that's what feet are for.
Well, exactly. Because didn't I say that about the night? Him making up an excuse about leaving that night drunk because he wanted to get away from his wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to go out here drunk, no registration or insurance.
Exactly.
And risk getting caught and or harming somebody else, killing them because you don't want to be around your wife. The wife you chose.
Decisions.
That's a personal problem.
No doubt. It's the decisions people make based on what they want in the moment. I mean, I've certainly made my share of mistakes in my life just because I was young and stupid and didn't know better and made a bad decision and hurt some people, hurt myself. You know, we've all been there. But at a point, like you were making the point, I think it was earlier today, the ages of these 2 people, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. You'd think that they would have learned some lessons. But people like Scott Peterson don't change either.
Right, because see, I listened to a young man who went to school with him speak about him, and he was speaking about his demeanor in high school. And I thought, high school to 30-something is irrelevant. You are not the same person as you were at 16, 17.
Thank God. No, you are not. For better or for worse, you're not.
Because you changed. Because first of all, you are a child at 16, 17.
Well, your brain's not even fully developed.
So to say, that's not the guy I knew. What do you mean? You were children.
And you didn't even know him then. You just, knew of him.
Yeah. You haven't chose the path in life. You haven't gone through anything.
Right.
You understand, except for what I would call children problems. But you haven't gone out in the world to deal with an array of people, an array of situations, paying bills, adversities, obstructions, all those things that come with being an adult. So comparing your 15, 16-year-old friend or whatever to a 30-something-year-old man who's now been accused of murdering his wife and child, they're night and day.
Yeah. He was a nice boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody was a nice boy. Everybody was a nice girl.
Yeah, before we had a chance to maybe not be, but, you can't take that snippet out in time and judge a person's present behavior based on that snippet.
Exactly. You knew him at that time.
Yeah.
So he was somebody else at that time.
Right. And at that time, you didn't know who he really was, even at that time. So,
and I can bet you he had problems then.
Oh, no doubt. I think he's a complete narcissist.
You just, because a narcissist don't just evolve at 31, 32 years of age.
They don't suddenly become empathic and sympathetic
at
some point in life. Yeah.
When you last knew him.
Right. It's always all about you.
Yeah, they were there then. The issues he had. He probably was a smart ass. He probably was, the type that felt like he knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
He strikes me as that person because I was looking at him sitting in the courtroom in this video, and he's sitting there all intent, listening to the lawyer talk while he's sitting there with his lawyer. You can see he's wanting to mumble stuff off his tongue. Like, that ain't true.
Yeah.
He's a grand narcissist.
Yes, very, very much so.
Yeah.
So in his mind, he could justify any action he was going to take as this is what I need, and I'm the most important person.
I would love to have seen be a fly on the wall to their relationship to see how he actually conversed with her.
Wouldn't
how he actually talked to her when there was no other
one around. Yeah. And she was a beautiful woman, just beautiful. And so was he attracted just because that suited him to have some arm candy, made him look good.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think, in my opinion, that Amber had the same appearance as Lacey. I thought Lacey was so I'm just trying to figure out, is this what you would kill your wife and child over? It's no disrespect to her, but just saying this is what you chose. And it's no disrespect to Amber, but I didn't
no disrespect, but she is not as pretty as Lacey. So he went to basically a polar opposite.
And you don't want to be mean in saying that, like you're giving a pause of why he should be killing his wife versus looks, but it doesn't matter how any of them look. What you did was wrong.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Yeah.
What you did was wrong. Why even murder somebody, period? Because you want to be with them. Well, then tell your wife it's not working out. But see, he was a coward. He didn't want people to judge him that, you left a pregnant woman. Because he knew that's what he would get. He wasn't stupid.
Well, in California law, isn't that a common, what's that? What do they call that? Property is equally, what's the term for that? Where she would have gotten half of everything that he had at the time. And, men are funny about their money. They think I earned it. It's mine. She's not getting a dadgum dime. If I divorce her, then community property. Thank you, Gloria and Dellen. I think, I think he wondered about the law, and he didn't want to have to give up half of his stuff.
Well, he'd have to pay for that kid. I think what he realized down the road, before it got to that date, he didn't want to be involved, period. They were dead weight to him, literally.
Yeah, I don't think he was ready to be seen as a father, because I think maybe in his mind, he was still Romeo.
Well, because one, it costs to take care of people. That's just common sense.
Yes.
You're not
Right.
just looking after yourself when you're married. You are to look after your other party. Now
That's
you're
right.
factoring in a child coming into the world. That is expenses. So I'm sure he sat and saw that somewhere. I don't know when. He saw the expenses, the obligation of being obligated. I got to tell somebody I'm coming and going. But still, there's no excuse because you signed up for that. Nobody put a gun to your head and said, hey, marry this girl.
Right.
Get this
Right.
girl pregnant. You slept with her without a condom. You married this chick. Hey, deal with it.
Yes. But he didn't want to give up any of his, his off time when he was not working and have to go home and help babysit and change diapers.
That's the thing that don't make no sense. When you decide to partner with someone, there are going to be expectations, especially if you are young and single and you have no children. You should know as a man, 9 times out of 10, this lady is going to want kids. So that means you two have talked about it at some point. So are we talking about an issue of that she wanted the kid and he didn't?
Well,
she get pregnant. Did she get pregnant without his knowledge and just popped up pregnant? Didn't take a pill. You see where I'm going?
Yes.
Because those things have happened.
Yep. There's more motive in that too. Yeah.
Did he feel like he was tricked into having a kid? See, you don't know. But in the end, there's no excuse for murdering somebody, no matter what he was feeling.
Yeah. And looking at it, he could see that he certainly didn't want to be paying child support either.
Yeah, not in California.
He sure so he just thought that was a simpler solution in his mind. He had more options than he considered.
Well, and he probably did. He probably realized he still liked looking at the ladies, touching the ladies, because I don't know if he had affairs while he was married to this young lady. But nonetheless, you know you better than somebody else knows you.
Correct.
So to do this cowardly act, that was on you. Because you didn't have to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have to take that road.
Yeah. So
so now we got somebody saying she didn't believe in birth control. She was Catholic. Okay, so it still goes back to, have we discussed this issue before about having kids? The person says, well, I want a baby. And you say, well, no, I'm not ready. Well, then you two have a problem.
And and if he knew she was Catholic, he would have, surely they'd have had some conversation about
way before getting married.
What's your view on birth control?
Right. Did she just convert to Catholics?
Yeah. So
Lord have mercy.
Didn't know each other very well, if he didn't know that much.
Exactly. So see, that's the thing about these storylines. You're not going to get everything, what was really going on with the people. But in the end, it doesn't matter what was going on. It's principle. You don't have any business just sloughing off people at whim.
Well, and in a trial, they have to be all these side notes are interesting, and whatever might apply to motive would be certainly included. But a trial, they have to be so strategic in what they present so as not to confuse a jury, but stick to the main facts that they want the jury to keep in their mind.
Right.
But it sure makes it more interesting to know some of the backstory of this situation. Doesn't make it. It might make it. Doesn't excuse it. Just makes it more understandable. Well, maybe not even that, Lord.
It's very sad. Very, very sad.
Shenanigans Beacon. No, we're still here. We're not. I think we're still
here. I was
here.
wondering why they were saying that.
Yeah. We are very much live as far as last time I checked. I've got a pulse.
That's a check. And the computer's still on.
I'm drinking a Diet Coke. So, I must be alive and kicking.
Lord, just doing me. What is you talking about?
Oh, you work hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. Yeah.
Yeah. You're killing me. She's a hot mess. A hot mess.
So, have we solved it? Gotten any closer to thinking, is he actually going to get another trial?
Well, it depends on the deposition and what she says in it. That's what this is about.
Would you think he would deserve it? Let's say she explains it in a way that makes it more understandable and more palpable. Would you say yay or nay to another trial?
I'm gonna always say nay.
Yeah. It's been decided. Like you said earlier, 11 other people agreed. It was a unanimous verdict. So she wouldn't have outweighed anything.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to see if they showed anything in here. It's just the stuff where he was resentenced to life without parole 2 months ago.
That's right. Yeah. Who uncovered this information?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see if I found anything there. Let's see.
Man, some things are never over.
Wow, and look what I found in here. Archival, when he talked about when she first went missing. Wow. CBS Sacramento. That should be quite interesting.
Yes, it should be.
Yes, Graham Bam. He's lucky to still be alive. Very true. Hello, Amy. How you doing, sweetie? Hey, T. How you doing?
There's T. The T is in the house.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Just Doing Me. You did great today. Don't worry about it. Come back.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something that
Go ahead. I was just vamping.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Something of value in here about the girl. Let me play this Inside Edition. This is Lacey's no, this is Scott Peterson's sister speaking. Hold on. Says he partied while Lacey was missing 1 month ago.
Yesterday, we told you that Scott Peterson was resentenced to life without parole for the murders of his wife Lacey and their unborn son. Now, his sister is speaking out, saying she couldn't be more pleased. Here's Jim Murray.
The sister of convicted wife killer Scott Peterson has a message for him.
I wish he would take just a fraction of pain away and just be honest and, say, you did it.
Amber also claims Peterson acted like a roving bachelor, not a grieving husband, after his wife Lacey went missing.
A man not looking for caring about his missing pregnant wife, but a man who was more interested in our attractive babysitter.
She says he even made an inappropriate cocktail for the babysitter.
Went to the store and got cocktail mix to make something called sextinis, and he was serving them to our babysitter.
Lacey went missing on Christmas Eve in 2002, while Peterson was having an affair with massage therapist Amber Frey, who says she didn't know Peterson was married. Ann Bird and Amber Frey came together for this interview on Inside Edition in 2005 and spoke about their unusual bond.
It's really tough to get through something like this, and it's so nice to talk to somebody that has been through the same thing. She definitely, is very brave and has made a lot of sacrifices in coming out.
Both women are represented by attorney Gloria Allred. Today, Allred said if Peterson gets a new trial, Amber is willing to testify against him.
Amber is a true hero, and she took many risks for justice in this case.
In February, a hearing will be held to determine if there was juror misconduct in the criminal case.
All right. Inside Edition is that sad information pertaining to his sister saying he partied while she was missing, trying to bring something else.
He was some kind of piece of work.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yes.
And his own sister is pleading with him. Yeah, good grief.
Okay, I'm going to play a little bit of former detective. No doubt Scott Peterson is guilty.
Okay.
News Nation Now is the source. Thank you all for joining me.
Center of trying to solve this case that had received so much attention from the public and the world. John Buehler is joining us live tonight. Sir, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Stormy.
Happy to be here.
First of all, your reaction to today's resentencing, given the fact that you are closer to this case than most.
Well, there were a lot of us who were really close to the case. It was a big team effort, and there was nothing really surprising to me today. I pretty much expected this. This is kind of how these things go. There are some kind of unintended consequences of this, Scott is going to leave the relative security of death row to potentially go into general population, which puts him at greater danger than he would be if he was on death row. Although the California Department of Corrections is one of the most professional custodial organizations in the world, they're going to have their hands full trying to protect him and keep him away from other inmates that may see him as a target.
You heard the defense attorney moment.
Let's talk about that for just a second.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Did he consider that? Now, life without parole, you are a regular bloke.
Oh yeah. You're one of the family.
Here's a story.
Oh.
Amen.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So in coming off that death row, you are now a regular Mohican.
You're fair game.
You're fair game.
And it's hunting season, so
exactly.
Run.
Run, Charlie, run. See Charlie run.
See Scotty
Amen.
Run.
So that is very interesting information.
Yeah.
You're willing to come off the death row to end up dying in there if somebody decides to punch your lights out or beat you to death.
Yes. Yes.
Stab you with a man-made carving device.
Don't sleep.
Oh my goodness. Ain't that the truth? Wow. Shut your mouth.
And if you're in general population, oh no. He won't last. He's too much a pretty boy.
Wow. Very, very interesting. Okay, we'll finish. That was something.
Go ahead.
Think about that.
Moments ago say that he has been falsely accused. Peterson's family is still going to fight for a retrial. Any doubt in your mind as an investigator on this case that Scott Peterson did not kill Lacey and Connor?
Not one doubt at all. I haven't had a doubt since the jury came back. I didn't have a doubt before the jury came back. When we put the case together, it was put together like most premeditated murder investigations are, as a circumstantial case, because premeditated murder doesn't usually provide you the luxury of a witness or a videotape. We eliminated every other possible scenario there was. And of course, people will bring these up and they have their own theories, and I get that, but you have to ignore an enormous mountain of circumstantial evidence to believe that Scott didn't do this. And especially when you throw in the fact that there was a $500,000 reward leading to the return of Lacey.
$500,000.
More than one person would be involved in this, and they wouldn't turn on each other for that amount of money. That's another thing that kind of strains my imagination a little bit. But I get the family; they're loyal, they love Scott, and I would expect that, and I wouldn't think anything different of them. You know, they got to do what they got to do. The defense attorneys, of course, they want to, make their win and everything like that. If they see a chink in the case and they want to go after it, I get it. They'll do that. The attorneys that were involved in our case, the prosecutors, Birgit and Dave and Rick, they were skilled prosecutors before this case ended up on their desk, and I'm confident that they'll be able to put it together again if we end up back in trial again on it.
You bring up circumstantial evidence. Scott Peterson still maintains his innocence, though. His attorney is asking for that new trial. If that happens, are you confident that any new evidence presented will change the outcome in this case in February or beyond?
Well, it's interesting because it's always a crapshoot or a roll of the dice with a jury. You never really can call what a jury's going to do. And having gone through, I can't even remember how many jury trials I sat through, but there were dozens and dozens of them. Jurors, it's interesting. They always have this poker face for the most part when they're sitting up there. You try to guess what they're doing, but it's very difficult. If the jury sees it through common sense and they compare the absurdity of the fact that somebody else could have done this, I think they'd come to the right verdict. But again, you just really never can read a jury on that. And I still think the first jury got it right. I would expect that a lot of your viewers probably see it the same way. But of course, there's always people out there that see it another way. And I get that. But that's what the jury system is for. So the standard is high beyond a reasonable doubt. But we met that standard once. I'm confident that we would be able to do that again.
However, the Supreme Court did step in a year ago, and that brings us to today in the resentencing, raising some red flags. Do you believe that Scott Peterson got a fair trial, given some questions about one juror in the case?
Yeah, I don't have any doubt on the fairness of the trial. The trial judge was very skilled. He'd been around the courtroom for many, many years. The decisions he made during the trial on what evidence could come in and what would be excluded were very beneficial to the defense side. And even after that, we still got the right verdict. Now, there's speculation on both sides. I can understand the jurors' take on why she didn't think that her prior situations were relevant to the case or to the jury selection part. But anytime you have a death penalty case, it always throws a big wrench into the works, because the potential of losing good jurors that just don't believe in the death penalty is always there. And so now, if it did go back to trial, we wouldn't have the disadvantage of having to have a death-qualified jury to deal with. We would just have to find a good jury, and through jury selection, hopefully that's what we would get.
John, it was chilling to listen to Laci's family's comments today addressed to Scott Peterson in court. This has been almost 20 years ago, 17 years to be exact. Hearing the families today, there are clearly raw emotions involved for them and always will be. This was your job to investigate this case, but did you become emotional as you investigated and learned new details, and all these years later?
Well, you know, our team had done a lot of murder investigations before this, and you have to learn to deal with the emotion of family members. But you can always rely on Sharon and Amy and Brent and even Laci's friends to say the most heart-tugging things at the right time, phrased in the right tone, to just, you know, tear at your heartstrings. So you do have cases that you run into over the years if you work the murders long enough that you remember and they stay with you. Of course, this one does. And it's really unfortunate this time of year that, of course, they're going to be reminded of the death of Laci every time during the holiday season. But then to have to throw this added tragic thing that they have to deal with, to have it back in court, is even more profound for them to have to deal with this. So I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Scott's family, because the actions that he did affected their family too. They don't have him around the holidays either, you know, because he's locked up. And
that's a choice.
It's unfortunate for everybody involved in this.
What the hell?
That's what happens when somebody kills somebody.
The grief is hard to comprehend for any of us, and February is the date we have marked on our calendars, as the defense would like to see a retrial in this case. John Bueller, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
News Nation now. It's a source for that interesting information.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Oh, I hate when they throw that out there. Oh, their family. Da, 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 da. Well, my thing is, should I be caring for my child that just snuffed out 2 people? I understand that's your child, but my goodness gracious. But I guess everybody's different. Some people may still care for their children. Some people might walk off. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
what do you talk about? Even when you go to the jail, to prison, and talk them on the phone, what do you talk about?
Really?
I mean, seriously, let's open Pandora's box.
After you get past how's the food, not much more to say.
That's
Did
what I'm
you
saying.
do it? Yeah. Oh. No,
Yeah.
Aunt Bessie died, you know, that kind of stuff. But just family news.
Yeah, how's the dog?
Yeah.
You know,
right.
how's Bubba? Oh, you put new windows in. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Jeez, I mean,
I am sympathetic with his family. The fact that he can't go home for Christmas, I could care less about how that affects
that's my
him.
point. See, a defense attorney always says that. You know, they always want to talk about the sister, the brother, mom, dad's sick, you know, all that. Well, those people have lost their child, plus a grandchild,
right?
Sister.
Yes.
Nobody's really caring about this person who made a sound choice to kill 2 people.
Exactly. And I do feel sympathy for the victim's family. They've lost their daughter, their grandchild.
You don't want to be mean to the
they miss her at Christmas
family, but
yeah,
even though it's not your problem that he made that choice,
that's
but
right.
he did make that choice.
That's exactly, Miss Kay. Her family doesn't get to visit her at all. So yeah.
And that's what they always say. Yours is still alive. Your crook is still alive.
Yeah.
But these people, they don't have that option.
Yeah. To drag them through another trial,
if
please.
If it happens, because let me say that in the chat. Yes, he had been resentenced to life, but due to this mishap of someone withholding information during the jury process, it could weigh as far as him getting another trial.
Right. Yes.
I'm not sympathetic with his family. I'm sympathetic with the Rokas. Okay. Or Roshas. Okay.
You know, that brings to mind, she was a perfect example of how you behave when your child is missing.
Mm-hmm.
That woman was on any TV
Oh, yes, she
could,
was.
any
Yes,
camera
she
she could
yes,
get
she
in
was.
front of,
Yes,
any
she was.
microphone
Yes.
and posters.
Was no
And
hiding, and anybody got to come find her to ask for a
right.
statement or how do you feel?
Yes.
Exactly.
And the emotion, she was
Protocol.
so torn up, and it
Yes.
was so obvious the pain that
Yes.
woman was in.
Yes. Yes.
But that is the typical way you would have expected certain other people to have behaved that did not
Exactly.
behave that way. Yeah.
You want to go back in time to hear what he was like at the time?
Sure.
Just so we can digest what it was like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back and hear what he was like. Hold on one second. Because I didn't see up here where he was talking. Hold on, let me see. So many videos. Let's give him a little fair play. It's 22 minutes long. We'll just give a little bit synopsis.
Sure.
CBS Sacramento is the source. We're not going to play all of the content because we still have the panel up, but we're just going to give you a little synopsis 20 or so years back or less of what Scott Peterson was like at the time when he was spinning this web and lies about his wife and child. Scott Peterson talks about the disappearance of his wife, Lacey. CBS Sacramento is the source.
Describe what the past month has been for you.
That's been absolutely terrible, as it is for everyone. I mean, you see us in press conference. You haven't seen me as much in the media, but you see our families and the raw emotions out there and the grief.
16 seconds in. You don't see me as much, but you see my family. How about that?
Yep.
Frustration. You know, we go through a range of emotions from anger to frustration to grief. For me, it comes at different times during the day. 2 weeks ago, I knew exactly what to do. I'd go to the volunteer center at the Red Lion and open up the center and wait for the volunteers to come and work on things. And then I'd go out and put up flyers. I knew exactly what to do, and that was going to bring Lacey home.
Virtue signaling.
Exactly what to do. And
that's
so frustrating.
I'll say it again in a minute.
We have a core group of volunteers still working to get her picture out there nationally through corporations and organizations and obviously media and other means. So we continue to work tirelessly, many people do, to bring her home. And we can do that during the day. And unfortunately at night, don't know what to do. And the grief hits and it's unbearable. But you also have to recognize that Lacey is hurting worse than any of us. She's the one that's not with our family. She's the one that we need to find and bring home.
I know you have
so that gives you focus. It gives you, there are times when
see how soft-spoken he is.
And you have to
real quiet.
Yeah. Hardly any inflection.
Can't continue. Try to stay busy and have a task, to know what to do, a positive task, and try to focus on that.
I know that there are certain areas you can't go to. It's hard to go to the park.
It's hard to go to. It's important though, because in the mornings when down there alone, I feel closer to her. Maybe that's a attempt to communicate or something. But,
And
watering up his eyes, trying.
Oh yeah, working it up. Yeah.
No. It was the first 3 days or so when she disappeared. It was an absolute privacy issue. Not showing the grief of our family, not exploiting that. After that, it was a conscious decision to remain out of the media eye, decided upon by everyone in the family and the volunteers, in order to, and I'm sorry to say it to media, but to keep the media here, to keep them hungry for, an interview with me or a picture, so that they would keep coming back, so this story won't fall through the cracks as it has happened with other missing people, with other abductions. And it's up to the family to keep that going. So we made that conscious decision together that I wouldn't speak. Obviously, we did lots of media with the rest of the family. And to keep them here, I didn't. But unfortunately now, the suspicions of me have grown so great due to people, wondering what happened to the inappropriate relationship that I had with Amber Frey, that it's
so that
necessary
got out.
to speak. It's appropriate time.
Wonder how long this was when
in
he
order
did this interview.
to ask people
That passed.
to keep looking for Lacey.
So she was
They're not
missing.
looking for Lacey as much as they should be right now.
Let's talk about some of those suspicions, because there are a lot of suspicions out there. I think people want to know, first of all, why would you leave Lacey, who was 8.5 months pregnant, alone to go fishing on Christmas Eve?
Okay. Our day was planned for Christmas Eve dinner at our mom's house. Preparations were all made, gifts done. Lacey was simply going to be baking that day, and it's not uncommon for us to simply we have separate pursuits. She does not play golf as I do, which was my other option for that day. And being 7.5 months pregnant, she's not going to want to go out in a boat. But it's simply a leisure activity to pursue that day, and was what our plans were. It may not be everyone's choice to do things like that, but it's the way that our relationship works.
I know when I approached you on Amber Frey, and I told you that I would be reporting that you had a girlfriend.
Right.
Your response to me is that you had no comment either way.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you just come clean then?
I'm glad you asked the question. It simply, wasn't appropriate to comment on it. And unfortunately, there has been a statement in the press that I denied it, which was made with another reporter when I characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies. And I did so without reading the article, unfortunately. The article I thought to include, I know also included a supposed life insurance policy, supposed blood evidence, and I forget what else, but also included the report of Amber. So I called it a pack of lies, not knowing that she was in there. So it's just not important to comment about that. And I'm glad that Amber.
This is beeping off of their video. I don't know what all that noise is.
Okay.
Oh, that's his phone beeping while doing an interview. Oh my God!
Amber, not now.
He walked off.
Bad timing, Amber.
They're in somebody's house or something. Looks like somebody's house or somewhere. His beeper was going off. I was wondering what that noise was.
Yeah.
Now he's walking around the house. Oh my God, they're filming this. This is crazy. You all got to check out this. This is CBS 13. Oh my Lord. You can't even make this up. I'm sitting here wondering like somebody's alarm going off. This is his beeper. Oh my God. Okay, he's coming back to sit back down. Oh, I need a drink now.
Yeah, so if you want to ask your question again, I'll just...
Why did he walk off just to
wait,
check
hold on. Let me go back.
Okay.
That beeping noise that you all heard in the background was Scott Peterson's beeper. He gets up, walks, looks around, whatever, then comes back to sit back down. He's now sat back down. This is ridiculous.
Amber, I cannot talk right now.
It's called From the Archives. Scott Peterson talks about the disappearance of his wife, Lacey. This is uploaded 3 years ago. CBS Sacramento is the source. This is so sad.
At the time when I asked you if you had a girlfriend, why didn't you just come clean then?
Right. At that time, it wasn't appropriate to comment about because it's not relevant. I'm glad you asked it because there were reports that I denied it. When I characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies that included Unknowing to me, I knew that the article included this supposed life insurance policy bought this summer, supposed blood evidence, and other strange reports like taking the floors out of our home.
Busted.
Yeah, included.
Yeah, like me, I cut the interview. Hold on, I gotta go get a drink. Hey,
And that's
y'all are
come out
horrible.
as a denial, which is it was never intended to be. I simply
Hold on, let me pause this for 1 minute.
approached that issue.
Yeah.
Dolly, you're so funny. Cheaters need beepers and pagers, etc.
Oh yeah, yeah. Multiple phones.
We're just 7 minutes into this interview. It's a 22-minute, 32 seconds. He's already gotten up to look for a beeper. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, it's not relevant, and there's no reason to comment about it. There's reason to comment about the number. And I'm glad. That
Let me go back in because
the
somebody
press
said,
conference.
I'm gonna go back and see what he said. Okay, hold on. He's coming back to sit down. Wait a minute, hold on. We're gonna go back over this.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so if you just want to ask your question again, I'll just.
So, once again, if you can just talk about why did you just come forward at the time when I asked you if you had a girlfriend? Why didn't you just come clean then?
Right. At that time, it wasn't appropriate to comment about because it's not relevant. I'm glad you asked it because there were reports that I denied it. When I characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies that included, unknowing to me, I knew that the article included this supposed life insurance policy bought this summer, supposed blood evidence and other strange reports like taking the floors out of our home. And I didn't know it included, this relationship that I had. So I characterized that as a pack of lies. And that's come out as a denial, which is, it was never intended to be. I simply
See, he's fishing now.
approached
Oh
it
yeah.
as it's not relevant. And
Not relevant.
reason to comment about it. There's a reason to comment about the number. Now, I'm glad that Amber did the press conference.
Let me stop right there. How could it not be relevant to answer, do you have a girlfriend and your wife is missing?
Exactly. It goes straight to motive.
Exactly. Then to say that an article was trash before you read it, now you're going to say, oh, well, I didn't read all of it where she gives commentary, blah, 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 that it comes out that I got a mistress. You knew exactly what the article said.
Right.
You knew exactly what the article said because 9 times out of 10, you read the article. But you see the lies that he spins, and in his sick mind, he thinks that he is really
Pulling one over.
exactly.
Yeah.
When it doesn't
Yeah.
even make sense what you're saying. Right now, he's talking in utter riddles
He don't want to answer this
that
question. It's making him uncomfortable.
exactly, that
Yeah.
anybody can see. You're fishing. So once again, why are you talking to this lady?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh my God. Oh man, I pray that nobody else ends up in a situation like this.
I'm glad that she came forward because it allows lots of people, I believe, to start looking for Lacey again because it's slacked off because of that, because there's suspicion about me.
She claims you deceived her. She claims
Amber.
that, yeah.
Yes, she
claims
did not know. She did not know that I was married. That is correct. So I'm glad she came forward. I informed her that I am married, and of Lacey's disappearance shortly after, Christmas Eve. It was a couple of days after Christmas Eve. I don't know the exact date. I'm glad she did the press conference. I'm glad that's out there. It had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance.
Your stomach must have been turning, though, when you see her go on television and it's national. And here's this girl saying, he lied to me.
Right.
He told me he was single.
Right.
I mean, your stomach must have been turning.
You know what? It was a positive to allow us to go on to search for Lacey.
What?
That's how I view it.
He just totally avoided that.
I can't. I just can't with him.
This will be done in a week.
He just scammed. He just jumped right over that.
Yeah.
His family says they can no longer trust you.
It was unfair and inappropriate for me to have that relationship.
How do you feel, though, that...
Well, that's the truth. He's telling the truth right there.
They're wonderful people, the Rocha family. I know that we all have love between us, and I know that we'll keep searching for Lacey. And
Still glazing.
I told Lacey about the relationship, important.
That's a
between
lie.
us.
I believe that's a lie.
Yeah, he's just skating.
We'll continue to search for her. We'll bring her home.
That's
That's
another
all I
problem
have to
people
say.
had a big issue with. A lot of Lacey's family
Yeah.
talked to me and friends.
Said she never
saying,
told him.
If Lacey knew that you were having an affair, she would have said something to someone. She wouldn't have kept quiet about it.
I don't know if she mentioned it to anyone or not. I did see a report in the news, an interview with a friend of ours, Lori, that indicated that she did not believe that I told Lacey. Lori also said, I know Scott, and he had nothing to do with her disappearance. And that statement to me is what's relevant. Because you can, okay, question my morals and my poor decision making. That's fine. But don't stop looking for Lacey. She's out there somewhere. She shouldn't be. She should
That's
be.
cold-blooded right there.
So let's keep working to bring her
I
home.
know that you mentioned during the network interview
He looks
that
he
only
looks
you and
out of it
Lacey know
during
you
this
match.
commentary.
That's correct.
Explain that.
Just as anyone's intimate relationships, it's it's between those two people. And yes, you share things with people, and some things you don't share with people.
Now, did Lacey find out about the affair, or did you just come out and tell her?
No, I informed her about it. I don't believe she knew.
Why come out? I mean, what made you say, I'm going to tell her today? What made that day the day to tell her?
Just because it's the right thing to do. And as you know, when you're not doing the right thing, it just, eats you up. You feel, sick to your stomach, and you can't function, and you have a hard time, looking at someone.
Right. You mentioned it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But from my understanding is that after you told Lacey, you continued to see Amber. Was that also the
I
right
saw
thing to
her, yeah. No, it was not.
do? Explain that.
That explanation was not the right thing to do.
But you continued to do it.
Right, and it wasn't the right thing to do.
Wow.
God, he's cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Even after Lacey went missing, you continued to romance this girl?
No.
She claims that you called her on the 24th and told her.
I informed Amber about Lacey's disappearance and the fact that I was married.
On the 24th?
No, not on the 24th. I believe it was probably it was a few days after.
She says that you called her on the 24th, December 24th, and told her you were with your parents in Maine.
Right. Yep.
Okay. I called her and informed her about Lacey's disappearance.
On the 24th of December.
No, I did not. It was a few days after that I called her and told her I was married.
She
No.
claims, let me just finish. She just claims that you called her on the 24th.
Oh my Lord. They're gonna go back and forth on this.
You were going to Maine. You were visiting your family in Maine. And then you were going to Brussels.
Gloria, I'm not going to.
Wow, where did Brussels come in at?
Little media time we have. And in this forum with, this is a short newscast, and I don't know how much of these words you're going to use or not.
What?
I'm not going to waste that by defending
Every bit of
myself or talking about irrelevant things. That it's better served if we talk about what happened and where's Lacey.
See, he's wanted to direct the
Yep. Deflecting.
the narrative.
I left the house.
All about her.
She
Like,
was here in the home.
Gee, I wonder who he reminds me of.
It's been reported erroneously that I saw her leave the house. Okay, she was in the house. It's one thing we know. Second thing we know is that the dog was returned to our yard with its leash on at 10:30 by a neighbor. Those are the two things we know about her disappearance. And hopefully those can help some people. There are things that we need to get out there are the tip lines, which is the Modesto Police Tip Line 209-342-6166.
He's hiding behind that.
66 Lacey info.
She's nailing.
wow, man.
Talk to the police.
Backtracking is something, is it not?
Talk to them. Please call the tip line if you
Going
saw
back.
her that day. If you've seen her since, or there's something you think is important in the neighborhood, we want to be very specific. The other big push that we need is LaceyPeterson.com. People can go there and print off the flyers and distribute those into every medical center, bus stop,
the computer was working then.
in the nation, because it could be the next flyer.
So much for Google.
To our family.
And I know more than more than I know that you want to find Lacey, and the second thing you want to do is clear yourself from suspicion, correct? I mean, that is, you want the focus back on Lacey and not on you.
I want people looking for Lacey because they're not doing that right now. That's why I'm sitting down with you in hopes that people will go, you know what? If I think he had some involvement, if I don't think he had some involvement, it doesn't matter because Lacey is what matters, and she's out there missing, and she needs to be home with her families. So I don't care to defend myself. I don't care what people think of me. You know, as I've said, question my moral character if you want to, but look at your heart. Think of Lacey, her picture, baby, and make the effort to bring her home. And that's a simple reality. That's a simple thing we need to do. Just, think whatever you want of me. As long as you're out there and you're comfortable with yourself, that you're doing what you need to be doing to find Lacey and bring her home.
I know that law enforcement officials have told me that you won't take a lie detector test, that you wavered back and forth on that. Why?
Well, let me say this about the investigation. I gave you 2 times earlier, 9:30 and 10:30 when the dog was returned here. Investigators on both sides, law enforcement and private, have asked me not to comment anymore about times, about conversations I had with the police, about the possible polygraph, tests if I've taken or not, and other, things surrounding the investigation so that it can be clear. So I'm simply not going to comment about those things. I'm not going to comment if I have or have not taken a polygraph with the police.
The life insurance policy. Why take one out on Lacey? $250,000.
We have life insurance policies in place that were established when we bought this home that you're in right now 2 years ago. There was no life insurance policy taken out recently, as has been reported in the National Enquirer, the dubious source of alien information as well.
I know that a neighbor saw you removing things on the 24th.
Wow.
You mentioned this morning that it was umbrellas.
Yeah, we have some large umbrellas for the backyard pool area. Market umbrellas, I think is the term for them.
Why would you store those in the winter?
It started to rain, so I was going to store them. Just like you asked, why would I store them? I was taking them from the pool to store.
Officials of mine have told me, sources have mentioned to me, that there were cement bags that were in the storage area, and apparently a few of them were empty.
Sure.
Explain that.
Well, I could take you out in the backyard and show you all the cement work and brickwork that we've done to this home, and you'd find, cement bags around here.
So this was something that it was home remodeling, or what were you doing with the cement?
Oh, Lord.
And again, we're starting to go into areas that investigators have asked me not to comment about.
I've heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
I dreamt about that. Cement bags. They were very relevant to the case.
Yes.
Cement bags.
But I don't want to give specific times or other information that could jeopardize what they find is
The umbrellas was to stick, probably carry them on the boat to weigh her down, stick her, push her down in the water.
It wouldn't surprise you if they found blood
Dear God.
in your vehicles. Explain why.
Well, take a look at my hand. You can see, cuts here on my knuckles, numerous scars. I work on farms. I work with machinery. I know I cut my knuckle that day.
On what day?
On Christmas Eve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Stop.
Pushing in the box of my truck and then into the pocket on the door.
I can't.
I cut open my
I know.
Oh.
I'm dying.
blood stain on the door. On the driver's side.
Sources of mine have mentioned that you also, when you came home on the 24th, did some laundry. You washed your
Ooh,
clothes.
this reporter know everything.
She ain't backing off.
She need to go work in Tennessee.
No
the
kidding.
average guy that goes out in the ocean fishing, gets some salt water on him, comes home wet.
Wow. Interesting. I mean, where did she get all this information?
Apparently, she was able to read quite a few police notes.
Now, again, I probably shouldn't even mention
Polygraphs, blood, cut knuckles, cement, umbrellas,
Concrete,
damn,
cement bags, umbrellas.
Pookie came to get a beer.
Actually, she's a barracuda with him. She is not backing away.
Jeez. Made a Bible with it. 202. Wow.
But look, this all irrelevant.
Please stop.
Understand why he feels that way as far as the girlfriend is concerned. And
Well, certainly, it was an inappropriate thing, and I never lied to Dennis. I've never lied to Dennis. I think I saw him last Lacey's disappearance, and prior to that, it was a year before that Lacey and I never saw him. Huh. That's her father, Dennis.
Right. And I have to ask you.
Sure.
Are you in any way connected to Lacey's disappearance?
I had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance. And again, even if people out there question that, if they would just
he's now looking in the camera saying
their
it.
hearts
Mhm.
and make the effort to bring her home to her family, I don't care what you think of me.
Because someone out
But
there
no, someone out there knows. And you can be the key to finding them by putting out that, mix.
God, this is scary, man.
Oh, that's
Well,
pathetic.
it's a plea to the audience.
Go ahead.
That's why we're doing this.
Go ahead. I mean, if you want to make a statement.
Look at her, somebody. Oh, you're looking at the
That
camera.
is, look in your hearts and know that you've done what you can to bring Lacey home. And if you haven't, please do it. And that's going to LaceyPeterson.com and print out that flyer and put it in every medical building on your car.
That's chilling.
Yeah, it is.
Or use the tip lines if you have.
But it showed you the mind. You don't know.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
All the people that thought they knew knew him, they didn't.
Think what you want of me. But in your hearts you should be helping Lacey.
I know that.
Tell us what to think.
I have to say.
Okay. I just want to ask
Thanks,
you
Gloria.
one last thing, if that's okay. About Lacey, because I know that you get really choked up when you talk about it. Tell me what you love about Lacey.
God, what? No. I think you can sum it up pretty easily with looking at her photograph. The photograph for a big smile in the press.
Because you guys met in college, or
College.
and tell me what connected you two right away. I know she's got a beautiful smile, but what linked you guys?
I don't know, just being able to complete each other.
She liked me, and so did I.
I mean, you asked how well, and all you have to do is look at that picture, and you know that she's a bright one, a bright light in a lot of people's lives. So.
You think she's still alive?
She is.
You're sure that?
Yes. Lacey's still alive. She's out there and someone's holding her, and these are critical days that we have left until the due date of February 16th. And we just need all of your help.
You haven't said anything about your baby.
That's entirely too difficult to speak about.
Can you go into the baby's room?
No, that door's closed.
How long will it remain closed?
Till there's a little guy in there. Thank you.
Wow. She said you haven't mentioned nothing about the baby.
She pounded him.
All right, everybody. That was CBS Sacramento. Woo! Take it from here, honey. Wow. That was deep.
That was. That is so disturbing on so many levels.
When it is good to go back in time and hear the commentary from people who played an integral part of a storyline.
Yeah.
And maybe one day when things are settled here in Tennessee, we will go back in time as well.
You're right.
And relive and rehear all the he said, she said, and then connect the dots and say, nah, that wasn't right. Nah, that wasn't right.
Yeah.
What do you think of what you heard in this interview? Hello, Crystal. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, Crystal. He was parched.
When you're lying through
Kind of like
your
how
teeth.
the Queen is right now. Drinking water.
Yeah, when you're lying through your teeth, your throat gets dry.
Yeah. So what do you think about this interview with Miss Gloria?
A couple of things stood out to me. He kept insisting that he told Amber just a few days after Christmas.
Right. But she said the 24th. You see that reporter would not let up.
Right. She was going in for that. Right. Because was she called you? You called her from Paris on New Year's Eve. It was. So she didn't know anything about it at that point. So she kept throwing the liar flag at him, and he just, that wasn't relevant.
But everything kept going back to search for my wife, search for Lacey, search for Lacey. Hey, you stuck your hand in the grinder, but search for Lacey.
Yeah. But
You're bleeding.
But he was hiding behind that to eat up time, because he was
cut my foot off, but search for my wife. Damn. That was his answer for every question.
Right.
He had, accusation, whatever.
Yeah, his big deflection.
Don't judge me for what I've done. Just please continue to search for my wife, because this is the clincher. I don't think that they're doing that. Come again? Who ain't searching for your wife?
Night and day.
Because how do you know the police and told them, we already believe this man does something, but you just don't never know. But they're going to search, of course, because they know eventually if she is dead, she's got to be found regardless.
Yes.
But they knew they weren't going to find her whole, walking and breathing. Wow.
Right.
Deep.
Right. And it shows up another thing too. The last person to see somebody is going to be that suspect, that one they're going to keep looking at.
Yeah.
And, he's just one more of the last person to see her. And I can't believe that the plan for the day was he was going to go play golf, and then he was going to go fishing.
Oh,
really?
Well, that sounds like somebody I know. Well, we were going to go fishing, then we went swimming.
Oh, yes, you're right. Right on. Yep. Exactly. And Dawn, she's long gone from here. She ain't here. She's long gone. Yeah. She's far away from here. Look over there. Don't look here.
Yeah. But what do you think about her asking about the umbrellas? The neighbor saw him bringing the umbrellas out, and he said, I was taking them to put them in storage. Storage where, I wonder?
I have to admit, I'm kind of curious about that, because that detail had escaped me.
The weather in California, even in the Bay Area, doesn't get like heavy snow and this to ruin the umbrellas. Worst case scenario is they're going to get ruined by sun. The color's going to change.
Okay.
That would be probably if you're in Southern California.
Right.
So you're in the Bay Area where it's going to be a little cooler.
Yes.
Damn well you did something with them damn umbrellas.
Do you think he
used them to weigh her down, to push her down in the water?
Oh, to push her in. Oh, gotcha.
That's the purpose of the cement bags. Tie her feet, her body to the bags, threw her over, used the umbrella to push her down.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I bet you're sitting thinking, my God, how the hell would you know that? Because I've done it before.
Girl, you ain't surprised me. I know
that joke. That's the first thing I thought of. Because I know somebody in their right mind was saying,
why is
the umbrellas?
I'm sitting there, I've been thinking that whole time, what's with the umbrella? What was that about?
As soon as he said it, I knew exactly what he used it for. I knew. See, I'm telling you, honey, the queen mind is always in rotation.
I see that. I know that. I keep learning that.
Soon as they mentioned the umbrellas, I said, "Oh my goodness!"
Oh yeah.
Them to push her down in the water.
Whew.
Oh wow!
Sunset.
That's a lot to digest.
I'm dead, Sunset. She was too heavy for 2 milk jugs to hold it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yep. So. Oh boy, that's dark. That's dark.
Yeah, it's very dark. So let's go here.
Okay.
With what the neighbors saw. I told you I was a nosy Parker looking. It's a Lifetime movie, looking out the window, trying to see what you're doing when you came. How long had he planned this crime?
Well, obviously it did take some planning, because he had to go by a timeline of when he was going to do this, how he was going to do it, at what time of day he was going to do it.
How long had he been thinking to kill her?
Oh, a while. Since before the affair, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember, when did he meet Amber? Because he didn't know her a long time, so this was fresh and new.
Yeah, this was a fresh relationship.
So then that means you couldn't have been planning to kill your wife a long time then. Or had he thought about it, and then when he met her, he put the ball into motion.
Right, that might have been the thing that clinched it, and he made a decision after he met her. Because he, you have no longer any use for your wife if you're going out, doing some extracurricular activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the break had already occurred in his mind.
Somebody said,
and I bet Amber wasn't the only one.
Well, I don't know how long he had a boat. This is California. He could have already had a boat, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But to be carrying all this stuff around, cement bags and umbrellas, man, that's a lot of work. Man, I don't even want to carry in a grocery bag. All this hell shit you been carrying around stuff. Look, of course, I'm older than him and a little weaker in the arms and knees, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I lift one fat leg up out the bed, I'm doing good. Thank you. But the other one, hey, it's a race against time.
Time is of the essence.
You're just sitting here listening to Pookie looking out the window.
Mm-hmm.
He took this. And you're saying to yourself, man, I'm tired. As soon as I undo the umbrella, before I even put the umbrella under my arm, I'm already tired.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about cement bags, boats,
rope,
everything to tie her up.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it real.
Wrap her up, get her out of the house.
Work.
He did a lot of work in a 24-hour period, that's for sure. In a less than 24 hours. Yeah. So that took a lot of planning. A lot of work in the execution of it.
That's the whole point, the execution.
Oh.
You can think it all day, but it's only until you put the ball in the motion is when you realize how intricate everything has to be.
Yeah.
And naturally, he cut himself probably doing whatever lie he just made up. It's no telling how he cut his knuckles.
I'd probably say wrestling with cement blocks in the bottom of a boat that's rocking will do it every time.
But how can you? I'm just sitting here trying to picture in my head, because there's 1,000 ways to kill a human being. But a pregnant woman about due, we got to also remember, which we didn't touch on, how did he kill her? We're talking about afterwards. How did he kill her, baby? Where did he kill her? At the house, threw her in the boat, covered the boat, rode down the highway with the boat attached to the car.
Yeah.
Threw everything into the boat in the darkness.
Yeah.
Then in the wee hour, late night, however he did it, he had to do it in the dark because there's no way you dump that body during daylight savings time.
Well, yeah, you don't. Yeah. That bay ain't that misty.
Okay, I'm dead.
Somebody's going to see something.
Now play Misty for me. I'm dead.
Oh,
I love that movie.
Oh, me too. That was a great movie.
When I found that movie years ago, honey, I fell in love with Clint Eastwood. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Another great California movie. Because I believe that movie came out a year before I was born, or the year I was born. It was 70 or 71.
Girl.
Stop. Don't start reminiscing.
Hush up. Don't mess with me now.
I know you was running around in some little small ass mini skirt.
I just kindergarten.
It's a go-go booth.
I
But that's another thing. How did he kill her? Because, I don't ever remember hearing anyone say how she was murdered.
I don't either. I was trying to recall, was blood evidence found in the house did that ever come up at trial? And I can't recall that it did.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Can't confirm or deny it. I just don't recall it right now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she was a pretty woman. I thought she was a pretty lady.
Gorgeous.
Pretty eyes, pretty face, pretty skin, pretty hair.
Yeah.
Snuffed out by her husband, she and her child. And to kill a woman almost do, man, you can't get no worse than that. It's not even the same as killing somebody you just found out they were pregnant.
Right.
You killed a baby ready to come out.
Yeah, you're killing two people, no doubt. With full knowledge, that's what you're doing.
Wow. Name the baby.
So cold-hearted. Evil, just evil. They did not find a crime scene in the house. What was the speculation about manner of death?
I don't know. This has been a long time ago, honey.
Yeah.
And
I think wouldn't it have been too late once they found her
Somebody
body.
said she floated and drowned her in a swimming pool. It been too cold to be in a swimming pool. She wouldn't have went near no water pregnant. He probably killed her inside the house. And then put her in that boat with all his supplies.
Oh my God.
Because we don't even know if he had the supplies first or not. Usually people don't get supplies for afterwards. Somebody said they didn't find a crime scene in the house. Well, just because I didn't find anything don't mean that she didn't die in there. She died somewhere.
Could have strangled her and there wouldn't have been.
You got to remember, she's also pregnant and holding a baby in her tummy. So he's got to be able to get her into something. So you got to think about that. If it wasn't in the house, then where was it? Because he still had to put her somewhere into something. Not that
strangulation wouldn't leave blood evidence.
Because if the boat's backed up, that would be the closest thing to a back door. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
The boat's going to trail a car.
Yeah.
So he probably killed her inside and took her out and put her in the boat.
That's what I'm thinking. If the boat was in the garage and there's an entrance into the garage from the house, then he could have killed her in the house, dragged her in there, thrown her in the boat, and driven off.
I said they did find evidence he'd been cleaning up, but that could be from post-murder activity.
Yeah.
I remember strangulation.
People do fight back, but until they're can't do it anymore. So there could have been something in the house. They might have found some evidence of a
She
struggle.
floated inside the pool because it gave her relief from discomfort of pregnancy. Pool must have been heated. I don't know. I never heard anything about that.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, he could have slipped up on her in the pool and held her under.
He could have. He could have.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's more weight. That's still, you got to think about the circumference of the house, how close another house is. Is there a gate around the house where somebody couldn't see? You strangling somebody in the pool or drowning someone in the pool. You have to think about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's right. The boat was at the warehouse. So you had to put her in the back of the vehicle to get there to the warehouse.
I won't doubt he did something in the house.
Yeah.
Because more than likely, she's almost due. She's not going to be doing a lot of moving around.
And she sure don't want to just say, yeah, I'll ride to the warehouse with you willingly.
Yeah, unless he took on an errand.
Yeah.
Like you tell somebody, hey, we're going to take a ride somewhere, but then you end up going somewhere else. Oh, let me stop by here.
Oh, yeah, real quick.
That's the thing about a crime. You're not going to know all the intricate details. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
They're never going to tell it.
People are very devious and imaginative. Sorry.
Okay, Crystal says death undetermined despite her head and limbs were missing. Yeah. Animals.
Yeah.
Sea animals got a hold of her.
Sea creatures. Yeah.
Wow, that was cruel. That was cruel.
Very cruel.
You see that her head and limbs were missing.
Because he thought all that would never float back up to the surface.
That's why he took the umbrellas.
Yeah.
To push her down. He wasn't stupid. He knows that you'll float back up.
Yes. Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
But then something did float back up, and that was that.
Yeah. Because they say that. I've read that about people drowning in lakes, how long it takes for the body to float back up.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take long.
Yeah.
Hey, CR, how you doing, honey?
CR, good evening.
We don't know that she was decapitated. That's a lot of work. Especially if there's no evidence in the house. That's a lot of work, and it's messy to take a person's head off. You know who done it?
What's fixed to come out of your thoughts now?
Nothing. I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Okay.
Because it's not nice.
Did you feel like being not nice for a minute? Were you
no,
were you tempted?
I told myself after listening to part of my last life, I'm going to work on some things. So I'm going to be quiet.
Well, okay, I'll take you at face value on that. I can't think
the baby
of what you
floated
need to work
back
on.
up due to postmortem birth.
Dolly, that is right. Things are done in the dark. Gonna see the light. The Lord's gonna make it happen sooner or later. Don't hide. Don't try to hide nothing.
Postmortem birth. So what are you saying? The woman gave birth to the baby?
Postmortem.
So she gave birth to the baby in the water.
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Four months later, what are y'all talking about?
I'm trying to read and find out.
See, this is what happens when all you want to do is type and you don't ever hit the link.
Gas.
I mean,
okay, gas is built up in a deceased body.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so then the baby comes. All right. Now I understand. Cough at birth. Ooh.
Lord Jesus.
I had a friend years and years ago. He was a pilot, local pilot, and he was taking a body actually to Memphis. And when he reached a certain altitude, you know, air pressure changes as you get a little higher. The body was in like a body bag near him, and it raised up.
Yeah,
and it scared the holy crap out of him.
Oh yeah, well, the body still moves even after death.
So yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Oh, and I want you all to send prayers out to one of my classmates. His father passed away Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the years when that starts to happen.
Yeah. I just found the information I come across today.
Okay.
He passed away Sunday. So I'll be definitely going to the services Saturday.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
you
make
will.
a plan to go.
Yeah. Fathers.
Y'all know y'all have all kind of excuses about hitting that link, don't you?
What's TZ doing?
I live in the boonies. My signal sucks. Well, where do you live? 111 Ben Hill Way? Damn. Thank you, T.
Oh.
You live in the holler?
The Castle Wells.
Thank you, darling. Please don't. Do not start. I was doing good not to come back up with any more shenanigans. Man.
Now you count on me for that. You don't.
I was sure. I was tempted. I was kind of boiling a little bit before I got on the live to talk about this, because this was my initial story. Then I was in the queue reading some stuff, and then I kept reading something somebody was saying, and something just told me, re-listen to the video again. And she was making these old wild ass allegations from some posts she can't even read. And I just thought, see, this is why you shouldn't even be up here giving this content. You can't even read a post because you're trying to put something into a post and make it into a conspiracy pertaining to what happened when the person who's writing the post is illiterate. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're trying to take something from an illiterate person and put in boy H. It really pissed me off. So I said, I ain't gonna talk about that because I've been and went off tonight. And it'd be somebody else.
And trying to pass that off as fact.
Talking, oh my God, she's talking terrible about me. Well, if you know your job, you should know how to read. You're trying to put something together that it's not there, because I chopped it up. When I paused the screen, and I said to myself, this idiot can't read. This is an illiterate person writing. And they're chopping up their words because they're not trying to spell all the words out of all the people who were together that day.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And so that it kind of alerted you to go on the attack, only you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, because what you're saying, you're trying to spin a story.
Yeah, piece one together.
Facebook post of who was where and what Candace or whoever was trying to say about that day, about the flowers and all that, trying to put H at the house. That's what it was. And I saw exactly what Grandis or whoever was writing the post saying. They were chopping their words up. They weren't spelling everybody's name out. Instead of saying summer, she said some.
Yeah. Like she's writing some kind of code.
Not a code,
Just
sweetie.
can't
She
do
wants
it.
to spell
Right.
all the
Yeah,
words out.
illiterate. Right.
She
Just
just want to spell
illiterate.
all the words out. So you're taking chopped up words and trying to make it into something that it wasn't. I smelled it. I was like, see, this is why certain people don't even need to be talking about the storyline. Y'all just going to make up shit.
Yeah. Christina is in the house.
Oh, Lord. Y'all are really going on and on about the baby's the body.
Well, hello.
How you
Good
doing,
evening.
baby?
I'm good. I'm really good. Yeah, I remember this case. Boy, that man is a cold-hearted
Let me address this in the chat right now. How do you all know that she was? See, this is why I don't like. This is when I start getting that side of me that gets ignorant. Bring me a receipt. She was decapitated. That he did it. When did they ever tell you he did that to her? Why would I cut you up and I'm going to be throwing you in the water anyway? Go ahead, Christina.
Well, I was just talking about how cold-hearted this man was.
Lord have mercy.
You know, I never seen nothing like it.
Yeah, I'm going to type something in.
Go ahead.
Oh, God, I lost the link.
What do you mean?
You're still here?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm reading.
Well,
I'm checking something.
Yeah.
Well, you know how you can turn the chat on and see what people's saying?
Oh, yeah.
You ain't missing nothing.
Okay. But yeah, I remember when all this happened, and I remember this particular interview that you put on here for us, and I'm thinking, how can this man sit there and lie knowing he killed his child, his wife, and his unborn son, and play it off like nothing happened?
Yeah. And be so cool and collected about it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, you are a cold-hearted man, pure evil.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Go ahead. Christina, did you mute yourself? Huh.
I'm trying to read this thing.
That's okay. I was wondering what happened to her. I think she muted herself somehow.
Along with a leading voice analyst who will reveal the results of a vocal autopsy he performed on Scott Peterson.
Hold on.
David, overall impression having listened to the entire interview?
Far cry for help. It's like a 911 call, Catherine. It's the same thing. When you're going on television and you're someone you love and your unborn child, they're missing, this is a plea for help. There is no help in his language.
I'm not going to waste what little media time we have.
Wasting time? Listen, you better defend yourself if you want suspicion off you and the focus on finding Lacey and your unborn child. You better defend yourself.
And the raw emotions out there and the grief.
David, I didn't see a lot of raw emotion right there.
First of all, it says frustration, grief, nada. He ignores the most important word in Gloria's question. Describe what the last month has been for you.
Very damning, and he didn't even touch it.
No, he turns into Robo-Scott.
Look at a sound.
Robo-Scott.
In regards to
Perfect.
I'm trying to get to this autopsy.
That's okay. Take your time.
Yeah.
Any phone call means it could be news. He kept talking and looking at Gloria and did not flinch when that ringer went off. Did you hear it, Catherine?
Hold on a minute, y'all. I'm trying to see them do this vocal autopsy. It's not showing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. That's what I'm trying to find. It's the autopsy. That's what I'm trying to see.
Okay.
It said that, but it's not showing me anything. Hold on. Oh, man. Go ahead, Kristen. You go ahead and say what you need to say, honey.
She's dropped off, and she says she needs the link again.
Oh, tell her to scroll up.
Scroll up. Scroll on up.
Oh, two of these lives are just, I don't know what to say.
Don't you get frustrated when you know you got it, but you can't get to it?
I'm trying to. Well, they're saying something about the autopsy vocal, but it's not saying anything. Let me see what this Agent X is revealing. Come on, get on with it, dude.
Sits on death row to this day. Though the ill-fated search for Lassie Peterson and then Scott's trial fascinated the nation, a recent docuseries has revived interest in Lassie's murder and her husband's trial.
Lady, quit talking.
Including what we know about Lassie's brothers or anything, though some have semi-jokingly with that name. But pregnant, and she'd been pregnant for half a year. Part of the reason for the renewed interest in the case that comes along with this docuseries is that a lot of people aren't aware of the details of her murder. Now a decade and a half old, the case unfolded when many of us were quite a bit younger. Sounds like Gone Girl. Well, we have to imagine that this very specific story was a huge influence. Sadly, Lassie Peterson, the next day, on April 14th, discovered in April of 2003.
Let me see.
First, the body of a prenatal fetus was discovered by a couple walking their dog. Yes, just like on every third Law and Order episode. The next day, on April 14th, the body of a woman wearing green-covered maternity pants washed up, only a mile away from where that fetus was found. Those two grim discoveries were not coincidental, as the body was discovered to belong to Lassie Peterson and the fetus was what would have become Connor Peterson, her unborn child with Scott. That's never how you want a missing persons case to end, but it got worse. As for the grisly cause of death, it is difficult to determine. Actually, it's impossible to determine with reasonable certainty. Seriously, think carefully about whether or not you want to read these details, because it's not a pretty picture we're painting. Lassie Peterson was decapitated and partially or completely missing 3 of her limbs.
No, she's saying the
Though
same
she was
thing.
wrapped in tape and nylon cord, her lower abdomen had opened. This explained the condition of the fetus, which had 1.5 loops of nylon cord wrapped around its neck. This appears to have happened naturally, as the fetus exited through a perforation in Lassie's uterus and then at some point exited her body. A horrifying image. Lassie Peterson's body also had 2 cracked ribs. Determining which injuries were related to her death and which came after was basically an impossible task. It's easy to point to behavior and say that it's shady, since everyone grieves differently. Prosecutors believe that Scott Peterson's motive was that the family's debt was increasing and that he dreamed of being single again. Being married hadn't been stopping him from having affairs with Lassie, including with a woman named Amber Frey, whom he told, just weeks before his wife's death, that was a widower and that this Christmas would be his first without his wife. So, you know, yikes. There was also some physical evidence, which is why Scott is on death row, including a hair of Lassie's that was found on some of Scott Peterson's boat tools. So, when someone brings up the subject of Scott Peterson or talks about the A&E documentary series, The Murder of Lassie Peterson, that's the story. That's why the state of California has condemned Scott Peterson to death.
I don't care for all that. I'm trying to find something else.
Okay.
I was trying to get a autopsy thing. I can't find anything. It'll take too long. Go ahead. Well, she fell off.
Well, it sounded very grim and
they got a search warrant
grisly.
video that they also showing too. Oh, this is called Scott Peterson Appeal. Do you know he has a channel on YouTube? Shut up.
Oh my Lord.
Scott Peterson Appeal. Sure
There's just too many similarities here.
Search warrant video of Scott and Lacey Peterson home, 12/26, 12/27/2002. You can go in the queue and find it.
Lord. Help us all.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting, one of the things jumped out at me was that they found her hair
on the boat,
on inside the boat on some tools
on some
inside the
tools.
boat.
So what would her hair be on the tools? Why would
Yeah.
her hair be on the tools?
Yeah.
Because you use them 9 times out of 10 to probably hit her, beat her, something.
Yes.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So, wow. Some sort of head trauma, probably.
You won't be meeting Scott Peterson, honey.
Mm-mm.
At all. No.
Wouldn't it be? I wonder if this is even possible when you consider double jeopardy. But what if he gets another trial and he gets the death penalty again? He won't be happy about that because he just got it changed to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be a strange twist of fate. I'd be sorry he ever had this idea.
Let me see what this is talking about. They have so much in these queues. Lacey Peterson has a channel. Scott Peterson, when he thought the cameras. Watch what happens when he sees the on-air light turn off. Let me see.
Thanks. How do you, 2 parts, right? How do you envision breaking it up?
I'm so upset. So about my big TV debut, how will it air? 2 parts, right? The Oscar goes to. Yeah. Dear God, that's crazy.
The Oscar. Well, it's an Oscar performance. That is for sure.
It's like our time.
He's sitting fake crying.
Time together.
When he began to cry, and something I thought was very strange was most men, I would expect, even women, will try and wipe away tears, and he sat there and let those flood.
Oh yeah.
Without ever reaching up.
That just kind of goes to what we had suspected all along with him. I mean, here's somebody he wants people to see those tears. I mean, I would imagine it probably took some effort for him to squirt those out. You know,
right? It did.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Those, and maybe that's going to help me later on down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
Once more, watch him switch gears in an instant.
Thanks. How do you, 2 parts, right? How do you envision breaking it up?
Tonight he's talking about breaking up the interview, 2 parts, right? So he goes from crying to now asking about how they're going to break up the interview.
Going to speak to the press this coming week. I'm debating on when it should be done because Tuesday is the State of the Union address, and I want maximum coverage.
Wow.
Come on over and help me cry.
Wow. Oh, Lord, they got stuff in here about death scenes of famous people. What in the world?
I have found out you can find anything on the tube. Yes, you can.
Oh, it's too much on
Why do you
there.
believe that Lacey was alive on the morning of December 24th?
Oh, Lord.
There were over 14 witnesses who reported seeing Lacey and or Mackenzie.
This is uploaded 3 years ago.
14 witnesses that said, I saw Lacey Peterson that morning and or Mackenzie the dog.
They are tips that were called into the tip line. Some of them aren't specific saying they saw Lacey, but they're saying they saw a pregnant woman.
Well, that's different than what you said. You said you had 14 witnesses that saw Lacey that morning, and that's not true.
Okay, you have 14. The problem is they weren't ever interviewed properly to determine whether or not they had seen Lacey.
That is not a matter of record. There are 14 witnesses that said they saw what they thought was maybe a pregnant woman or an overweight woman walking with a large dog. That's a long way from saying I saw Lacey Peterson with Mackenzie the dog.
Okay, so if pregnant woman goes missing, The family is pleading with the public to call in, and you live in her neighborhood and you call in and you say, between 10 and 10:30, I was backing out of my driveway and I saw a large woman with dark hair walking a large dog. That woman should get a phone call back. The police didn't call these people back.
Oh, she should get more than a phone call back. She should
Exactly.
get a visit. She should be debriefed. She should be interviewed.
And
She should be shown pictures.
So how can Scott be on death row when there's evidence that his wife was alive walking the neighborhood?
I don't disagree with you that those people should have been followed up on, but to say you have 14 witnesses that said they saw Lacey Peterson and Dog McKenzie that morning is an overstatement, isn't it?
Correct, because they weren't followed up on.
Yeah.
There's no other person that's been identified that those people could have been seeing.
Yeah.
If they're not seeing Lacey, who are they seeing? It was Lacey.
Could be
One of
anybody.
these witnesses was a mailman.
Correct.
Who says the dog was not in the yard during the time a neighbor said they put the dog in the yard. Let's take a look at this.
This bulletin board covers the events of December 24th, a 1-hour time frame from 10
Always
a.m.
an enabler.
to 11 a.m. You have Scott's activities here from 10 to 11 a.m. He's leaving for the warehouse. He arrives at his warehouse. He logs onto his computer. He's on his computer pretty much from 10:30 in the morning until almost 10:57. This is when you start having witnesses in the neighborhood saying that they saw Lacey walking the dog that day. At the time of the trial, it was a major factor whether or not these witnesses had actually seen Lacey. But the newly found evidence is that the mailman came down the street between 10:35 and 10:50 the morning of December 24th. The mailman signed an affidavit that said if McKenzie was in the yard or in the house, he would bark at the mailman. And on December 24th, the mailman came by and McKenzie was not on the property. Basically what this means is that Lacey grabbed McKenzie and went on her walk. One of these witnesses called in on December 30th, and she said she was backing out of her driveway when she saw someone that looked like Lacey walking a very large dog. She said the woman looked heavyset and wasn't certain if she was pregnant. She said she saw this woman between 10 and 10:30 a.m. She called the police on December 30th, and she was never called back, ever. It's not possible for Scott to be guilty when Lacey's walking the dog.
Okay, now
She
let me
was there,
say,
huh?
this postman's statement that he was there between 10:35 and 10:50 is not really a guesstimate on his part, because to keep track of the route, there's certain checkpoints where
Yes.
he meters his progress, so we kind of know when he was where. So that's pretty accurate, right?
Yes.
So here you do have some pretty specific evidence of
Yes.
where he was and when he was there.
And same with the woman who put the dog back in the yard. There's a forensic component to that as well, based on receipts.
Okay. Now, if she put the dog in the yard at 10:18 and he was there at 10:35 to 10:50, if she put the dog in the yard at 10:18
And close the gate
then why wouldn't the dog be there when he got there?
because Lacey took the dog on a walk.
What do you think about that information?
I think it's not necessarily so. You put the dog in the backyard. The woman put the dog in the gate. The mailman says the dog would bark at him. Well, if the dog is in the backyard in a corner chasing a squirrel, might not have realized
See you
it.
at that time, right? when
Yeah,
you came
she's
and
trying
put
to
the
tie
dog-
something
right,
together
that's true.
that might not
That's
work.
true. And then who's to say he didn't take the dog with him?
That's point. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah.
So you don't know. And he's not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the dog that morning.
People stretch to
Because, like
put
you
any
say,
kind of details
If
together.
we don't
that
know
prove
where the
their
woman was
thoughts.
murdered.
Yeah.
If we don't know where she was murdered, who's to say they all didn't pile up in a car. And it was a farce. Come on, let's all take a walk. Let's all take a ride somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't know.
Well, they never said determined time of death. It couldn't be determined. So I don't know.
Well, TZ, when people are defense attorneys, this is what they do. People who work on cases, if investigators that are for the defense or defense attorneys, they're trying their best to put reasonable doubt in the minds of.
That's right.
That is the
That's
point.
right.
That's their
And
job.
sometimes it takes spit and duct tape to make it all fit together, but they do try.
You know, but Dr. Phil made a point. You don't have 14 witnesses to say verbatim that was her walking a dog.
Exactly.
The dog.
Yeah. So and then the woman counters back by saying, yes, but they've never determined who it was. Well, okay.
Right. Because it could have been anybody walking a dog.
Yeah. Lots of big people walk big dogs.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. It just might have been some chubby gals in the neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. So, you know, whew.
Mercy, mercy, mercy. What a case.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, God. Don't put people through this again. We've had too much.
Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just imagine going through all that again. Like they said, 17, 18 years later, having to go talk about this and hear all this all over
right.
again.
And have the parents go through this again? Oh, Lord, no. Mm-mm. Her parents.
Let me see if there's anything in here about Amber. Yeah, I'm surprised you ain't ready to go to bed. 2 o'clock.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Well, when you get my brain going, it's kind of hard. I can't settle down. Then I have to, you know, wear myself out.
Well, wait till I bring you the case about the guy that's defrauding the women. You'll really have something.
Oh, okay. I'll be up all night.
That man is just, man, he's heinous.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen some stuff on him. Yeah. I think they did a Dateline on him, actually. What are they calling him? Dirty what? Dirty Don?
No, not Dirty John. It's another guy. This guy is called
Love
Fraud. The episode I watched last night, episode 4, they were here in Knoxville, Tennessee filming.
Oh.
Which I didn't like the way they kept showing these 2 like power plants. I kept thinking, why you keep showing that? Why don't you show the sphere? That's what Knoxville affiliated with.
That's right.
World's Fair sphere. That's how we're known in America.
Right, that's your signature.
Steam plants. We don't care about no damn steam plants.
Okay. Probably trying to make some political statement about nuclear energy in the midst of.
Yeah, because it didn't make any sense. Every pic was showing that in a still. I thought, why you keep showing that? It's very strange. Okay, let me see if I can find. These are so long. They're long-winded. They've got the phone calls. And I have to be careful what I play too, because it can get copyright strikes.
Oh.
That's why I don't have my Rosa Parks video up. I had to delete it.
Are you kidding? Did you get a strike on that?
Or you not a strike, but a copyright claim.
A claim. Okay.
Because it was somebody's content, and it's always some bullshit. Well, I can't find any. I wanted to find something where she's talking.
I'd love to see you do a live or something on race.
Well, that's what I
know the Rosa Parks thing.
But that just turned me all the way off, because if I can't play, I don't want to read a lot of stuff. I can't read stuff that has a lot of points in it for history. It takes too long.
Right.
Read it.
Right.
So that's the purpose of playing the audio. But it had a claim to it because it belonged to somebody else. So
okay. Well.
Yeah.
Sticklers.
Oxygen has one little small clip of that Amber thing, but I wish they played more of the whole videos from the Oxygen Network. They're gonna give you like little short clips. Let me see if I can get something where she speaks. Find something. She gives a little bit of commentary. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Oh, did you watch it? Dirty John, Netflix, and Bets? Okay. Good.
Everybody still awake out there?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Everybody got a pulse?
72. They see they don't come in the chat unless you're talking about that shit in Rogersville.
Yeah. DW.
Let me see. He told his lover Amber. See, I don't want to hear Dr. Phil tell it. I want to hear her.
Good night, Dolly.
All right. Thank you, honey. I've already stopped doing the lives altogether. You gotta reach me on IG.
And I'm not on there.
Well, do you have the app?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It's Big Sexy 71.
Big Sexy 71. All right.
Write it
I'll
down.
give that a whirl.
Send me a message. Okay.
To appear in the National Enquirer, revealing new information regarding Lacey's case. Out of respect for the family, the police department felt they should provide the information to them directly, so they wouldn't have to read it in the media. At that time, the family members were shown very recent pictures of Scott and a girlfriend.
Okay, first of all, I met Scott Peterson November 20th, 2002. Scott told me he was not married. We did have a romantic relationship. I am very sorry for Lacey's family and the pain that this has caused them. And I pray for her safe return as well.
Amber Frey had contacted Modesto Police Department on Monday, December 30th, 2002. She met with detectives and gave information about the relationship with Scott Peterson. And Amber Frey has been eliminated as a suspect in Lacey Peterson's disappearance.
Amber Frey was a single mother who was fixed up with Scott Peterson through a friend. She was his girlfriend, and she thought she had met the man of her dreams.
In my mind, she could be wonderful because I could care for you in every way.
I was just starting my career in massage therapy. You know, my daughter was very young, very small, and a single mother. He was good looking, he was nice, he was funny, and attentive to me. I feel like we had a connection. That conversation was easy.
He was courting her. They had a whirlwind romance in the few weeks they knew each other.
On the very first night, Scott meets her at the hotel, and basically he's smooth, but he gets her to go upstairs with him just before he can take a quick shower and change, and then they can go to dinner. Well, upstairs is, 4 or 5 dozen roses and some chocolate strawberries and some champagne. That was the start of the relationship.
When you look forward to hearing from somebody and seeing them again, and that, that excitement's there, and you could, all felt very good.
Ooh,
she really
aged.
thought she had Mr. Right.
I really liked him, and
8 months
felt
ago.
really good about where
2020.
things were going and
Verification.
conversations and time spent together.
I have to watch that.
Unfortunately, Scott had an infidelity problem, and he traveled in conjunction with his work, and that created opportunity for him. And his own words are that he was weak.
I remembered asking him if he'd ever been married.
He said no, but that wasn't true, of course. And as it turns out, Amber's friend who introduced her to Scott found out that he was married and confronted him and said, if you don't tell Amber, I will. So Scott did tell Amber.
Scott knew Amber for 16 days when he got caught being married.
He was very emotional and said that this would be the first holidays without her. And he was crying at that point. I took it as she died. Didn't know how, if an accident or cancer. Or I had no idea. I didn't pry to ask. He just said it was painful, and so I had asked if he was ready for a relationship, and he said yes.
She was obviously a girl who had been duped. She was a girl that thought she was going to meet a nice guy, and that nice guy turned out to be Scott Peterson, who was a married man with a missing wife, who took it to a whole nother level in terms of deceit. She didn't know about Scott and Lacey missing until her friend told her, hey, that guy you brought to the Christmas party is on TV every day.
And so I went to the other room and called the Modesto Police Department hotline that they had. I was in shock. I mean, I literally was in shock.
I'm standing behind our clerk, and she's typing, and I'm watching, and it's Scott Peterson is my boyfriend. We've been dating exclusively. He said he wasn't married, and I'm like, Bev, is is that lady on the phone? Yeah, and so I talked to her, and it was Amber Frey, and
couldn't get any words out for a while. And I was like, it is him. Like, this is him.
I'm like, okay, don't go nowhere. I'm going to come visit you right now.
Amber Frey started cooperating with police as soon as she learned that the man of her dreams was really a married man whose wife had disappeared, and he had been lying to her all along.
I buy her a tape recorder with some cassette tapes and a wire.
Out the gate. You hear this?
I'm listening.
Okay, if he ever calls, just push these two buttons and just talk normal. The phone rings, and it's Scott Peterson. I'm like, that's him.
Yeah.
Showtime, girl.
Amber. Hey, Happy New Year's. I want to call you.
Thank you.
What they heard on December 31st, 2002, was a Scott Peterson who, while a candlelight vigil is being held for his missing wife, and he's attending it.
So at this point, she's already
on
involved.
the phone, Amber Frey being recorded
taping.
unbeknownst to him, telling her that he's in Europe.
I'm near the Eiffel Tower. New Year's celebration is unreal. The crowd is huge.
The crowd's huge.
He was right down the street. Where
Oh,
the vigil
God.
was taking place.
Oh,
It was
Busted.
incredibly bizarre. You've got this guy's wife is missing. The entire country is looking for her, and he's not only keeping his girlfriend at bay, he's entertaining her with these outlandish lies.
Think about this. If his wife comes back and everyone in the world knows that Scott was cheating with Amber Frey, he's tearing his family apart. It's like the end of his family. The last thing that he wants, innocent or guilty, is for Amber Frey to get involved. And he would have told her anything. He would have said he was in Borneo on an expedition if it kept her away.
True.
I kind of remember the area here. Not really that well, but I'll jot down to the main square. She's kind of neat, isn't it? And I know big church in the backdrop.
Yeah, I don't even really, know. I've the only times I've really seen Paris is,
I'm in Brussels now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Amber Frey was critical to the case because she provides a motive for why now. Why is he killing his wife now?
It was almost like, aha, he killed Lacey to be with this woman.
Instantly, as soon as Amber Frey showed up, people were like, he's guilty. He is guilty. For me, I was the opposite. I thought, oh my gosh, this explains it. This is not a killer. He's a cheater. It wasn't just that he'd had an affair. It was that he was continuing to pretend as if his wife wasn't missing.
You were more worried about her than you were Lacey. How dare you?
To commit a crime like this, you have to have a screw loose at the very least. And those Amber Frey tapes made it seem like Scott Peterson has a screw loose.
Do tell.
Nobody saw you at the Berkeley Marina, and nobody saw Lacey walking the dog, huh?
He now is enemy number one. Everybody hates Scott Peterson. Did you murder your wife?
All right, everybody. It's ABC News. Let's recap this ending of how he dyed his hair.
Yes, he did.
Kid in the trunk, which led people to believe you were going on the run. He had a lump sum of money, all showing signs of guilt that you were complicit in the death of your wife and child. What do you think about what you just heard?
It's chilling to think of all the lies he told and how he was trying to keep her far away from the story. But just such
But this is what's interesting. She has a friend who somehow finds out about him. So what the hell was Amber? What planet was she on that she didn't hear? You're both in the state of California. This girl hears it. How did she hear the news? What? Newspaper? What? Saw a picture possibly, but you don't watch the news and know nothing.
Yeah, she's not a very curious person.
Very baffling.
Yeah.
This is why you have to stay in the know of things, because a lot of people are like that now. People don't watch the news, because I haven't been watching the news either due to the fact that I just use Wi-Fi right now. And so I hear a lot of people say, well, I come to you all for the news of YouTube. I tell people, stop that.
Yeah, really, get some news.
But not depend on a YouTuber for news.
Well, they can on you.
Yeah, but a lot of people that come on YouTube, they don't read you nothing.
Yes.
They just repeat and say, let me tell you what Pookie said, and this is what's going around. But they won't read you anything verbatim to where you can at least go to a source and say, okay, yeah, what she read, that's what was said.
Well, I appreciate you playing these things, especially as in your opening monologue.
Yeah.
That because you're informing people like this is, I'm giving you information that these things are factual from a factual
I can
source.
repeat everything verbatim.
Yeah.
You're gonna definitely leave something out if you just say, this is what was heard and said on such and such network or this and that.
Right.
And next thing you know, somebody comes in the queue. No, it didn't go like that.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't said. Because if I say something now and don't get it all right, somebody will definitely come in and tell me, well, you left this part out. She had a dress on, and all the charges was dropped, and it's always something.
Yeah. Well, you play the information. You came with a receipt.
Oh, they'll argue that too.
You know,
even if you play the source, they will argue down.
Oh Lord!
But I play it because I can't sit here and remember everything. That means I'd have to proofread or hear, and then try to write down everything they say. I don't have to. I just play you the information and try to remember the key points from the audio.
Well, it refreshes my memory when I'm able to hear the beginning when you're laying out the what the conversation is going to be about, because I forget things and it brings it to mind, and then it informs my opinion all over again.
How they were able to at the gate approach her, let her know what they were dealing with. You're dealing with a liar, blah blah blah. What if she was the type to say, I don't believe you?
Right. Yes.
Then where would they have been?
I don't think. Well, they wouldn't have had a case without her.
Right.
And then a woman scorned, hell hath no fury.
Yes.
So she had a good reason
to imagine that, because this has happened where law enforcement has approached people about the significant other, and you can tell them nothing. That's why I want you all to watch Love Fraud, because Lee, who's an older white woman here in Knoxville, you couldn't tell her nothing about this fool. He was a nice guy when I met him. Baby, that was years ago. He changed. And I got that if she was to go back in her memory Rolodex, there were things that she probably noticed about him that wasn't proper.
Yeah, brought it to mind. Well, I didn't see that at the time.
Yeah.
I missed that.
He didn't steal your money, your identity. Somewhere down the road, he did change. And when I watched the episodes last night, it was so good. It's like you don't even want to get up. I was thinking to myself, when did he change? When did he change into this monster? Because you got different versions from different women of how he treated them. One woman says he was mean to her, hit her. See where I'm going?
Yeah.
So it's like each woman's got a different part of him.
Yeah, each one saw a different version. Right.
It's very scary. And then you watch his jailhouse interview.
Yeah.
He's moaning and groaning and talking about God and Jesus and how he's repenting and coming closer to the Lord. And I thought, okay, I'm trying to work on myself. But then he starts contradicting himself too in his commentary, where you see some of the stuff he's saying is not adding up to something else.
Exactly. It doesn't line up with the other things you also heard. Yeah, exactly.
Love Fraud is on Showtime. You have to have Showtime.
Showtime? Okay, I don't have that.
You can watch the first episode free on YouTube. I think the first and second episodes you can watch free on YouTube.
Okay.
Or in the Roku queue. But you're going to have Showtime to finish off the third, fourth episode. But it's a very good documentary based on actual events. This man is free walking around now. He's done his 180 days. As I told you all yesterday, that must be something they do. Because in his case, 180 days is offered as well.
Yeah. Well.
For
scheming,
scamming. He had 2 cases coming out west. It's just hard. And when I heard the word 180 days, I almost passed out last night. Watching it, girl.
6 months and he'll never do that again. Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Do you know what's baffling? Sitting there looking at all the women sitting around with the private investigators. I thought it was going to fall out.
Listen, that kind of thing just drives me crazy. women.
Go to YouTube. It's in YouTube. It's in YouTube, you guys.
I'll go look for it.
Go ahead, baby.
Women who are so.
We're jumping all over the subject. Go ahead and finish about Scott Peterson, then we'll talk about that. Go ahead.
Okay.
And what you just heard right now with him talking to her on the phone, how did you feel about what he was saying? Because what I want to know is, did she know that he was down the street when she was recording him? Did they already tell her he's over here, or did she not find out after she talked to him on the phone that he wasn't in Paris?
She had to, I think she had, because wasn't she wearing a wire and that's why she had him recorded, or did she record?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I wondered if she knew that he wasn't actually in Paris.
Oh, gotcha.
They're talking on a phone and she's recording it.
Yeah, I maybe at the time she did believe it.
No.
But
Man,
then
can you imagine
later,
finding out he was still in town?
Yeah. And then too, like the point being made in that interview, his wife is missing and he's off partying in Paris.
Let me write that.
Yeah.
Let me write that app down. Activate.
Okay.
Somebody wrote that. See, I always like to keep up with stuff new.
Oh, on.
Where do you find that Activate? ACTVID.
Acvid.
Is that an app for your phone? Yes, I'm going to finally start paying YouTube sometimes. Well, I always Google the movie first to see where it's playing before you pay. Because you might find it somewhere free. But as I told you all, Showtime is running a special right now through Roku. $3.99 a month for 3 months. And then it will be $10.99 a month thereafter. So right now, you can get Showtime for $4 a month for 3 months.
Okay.
But you have to go through the Roku app to get the special.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, finish, sweetie.
I lost my train of thought now.
He's saying he's in Paris. She's wired up.
Well, everything about him is just deceitful. Everything. But he's thinking he's got her snowed. I mean, this woman is not the brightest bulb in the marquee.
Yeah. And that's a sad thing to say, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I was just starting to.
Because you know what she had to say to herself when all this went down, how in the world did I miss this?
Yeah.
Because he never take me to his house. We met at a hotel. Ting! Night one. See? Night one, they're at a hotel.
Hindsight's painful. It's always 20/20, and then you see what you didn't see at the time.
Exactly.
It's really what I was going to say is it is one of my pet peeves among women who are gullible and just believe something just because a man said it.
Yeah.
Because you're flirting with me and you're making me feel so attractive, and well, he's gaming you is what's going on here, but you need that kind of reinforcement and validation so badly that you want to believe that. We hear what we want to hear too much.
Yeah.
So, it's sad. It's very sad. And then you become involved in something that to the point you're a suspect. Now this liar has got you put as part of the story.
Yes.
And making people think, well, were you complicit?
Yes. But I'm glad. Hey, right off, they realized, I think, when they talked to her, she didn't know anything.
Yeah.
This man had lied to her.
Right. Because when she saw that picture, I'm sure the expression on her face told them everything they needed to know. She has no idea she's in shock right now. So that'd be pretty convincing.
Like I said, there have been so many women who have denounced what was told to them and said, well, I don't care. I love him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, a number of years ago, I had a gay friend, was a man, and he was telling me about this guy he had met online and how that he was madly in love with him. And this guy was so sweet to him and so nice. And he said that he's asked me to send him some money and he'll come and see me.
Yeah.
And so I said, do you mind if I look into who you're talking to? And he shared it with me. And I said, Ron, this is Nigeria. and you're probably not even talking to a man.
Mm-hmm.
But see, he was gullible. And I can tell you, my friend was just a very, very lonely gay man. And so he's prey to this kind of stuff. And it's why all these women, people from Nigeria, that is a $1 billion industry in that country to scam lonely women and men.
I get the messages all the time, and it's just like, sometimes I look at the picture and I'll say, and it's not to say that I'm unattractive, but sometimes in your mind, you'll just say, I don't think this guy sent me this message. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I do is I just go ahead and just say hello. And then I let them say hello.
And let it slide.
One way that I know that they are a foreigner is the writing. They always write in lowercase letters.
Yes.
They always put things such as exclamation points, commas,
in the
question marks way away from the last letter.
Yes. And they don't use the language in a way that is conversational. They go through there's a program you can go through that'll translate your language into English or German or French or whatever.
Well,
and it just doesn't do it well.
The one black guy that messaged me, I guess would have been yesterday or the day before, the English was pretty good. But then once he responded, there was the question mark way over here in Tokyo, nowhere near the end of the letter. And the first thing I thought was, you got to pick one.
Yeah.
And that's how I know. Such as another thing they do. They use 2 first names. Bob, Roy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll be capital letter, second name, lowercase.
Yes.
Which we wouldn't write our names like that. We're going to write our first and last name or middle name with capital letters.
Exactly. Yeah.
So those are things I pick up on.
Right. The language thing is the first tell.
Oh, yeah. The broken English.
Yes.
And the lowercase letters. You don't start off text with how you're doing with lowercase h.
Right.
All the way through to the very end.
Yeah.
Every word is lowercase.
Yeah. I have a cousin that I communicate with on Facebook. And so, I'm sorry, not a cousin, a friend of mine that I communicate with by Messenger. And we have not had very long conversations, but he was informing me his wife had recently died, and I asked, how are you? I think I might have even instigated the conversation. And so he was, saying, well, it's been very, very difficult. And so, I'm reading this like this is his answer to me. And he said, but listen, you've been so nice. I want to share a service that you can get $45,000 from the government, some long spiel, if you'll just call this number. And then I realized, oh, okay, somebody is, pretending to be him, and I'm not talking to him at all. And so I just immediately stopped the conversation, clipped it off, and then I messaged the guy who I thought I had been talking to say somebody's messing with your account. So do be careful.
Yeah.
They do anything to get through, trying to jump into your wallet from 5,000 miles away.
Oh, and that's it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's always about the money.
From somebody, one number saying something about the Cash App was being tampered with, and then tried talking to him, and then he stopped talking to not last night on the phone. So then I went into the store, and I said, "Well, let me go buy something." Just to check, because it said don't use your card, blah blah blah. I thought you're just calling me to monitor to see if I'm monitoring that card or not.
Exactly.
And I let them know, oh yeah, I've just made a purchase. I just made a purchase.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I didn't get a notification any other way, text message, no other way. I went right in the store, bought something, the car went right on through. I said, yeah,
there you go.
I blocked all those numbers. But see, what's the irony of that is that number came in as a local 865 number.
Yeah. Thought it was.
So then I called the number back because I know it was the last number I was just talking to. So I thought, why is this an 865 number? This should be an out of town number for the Cash App. So when I called the person back, it sounded like, a Caucasian guy to answer, which that was strange because it was an Indian on the phone, I could tell.
Oh.
So then I said, you called the number? And he said, no. So I guess they spammed the local number. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they do that. You have to make it look like it's probably somebody you might know.
Yeah, because I had somebody from out of town tell me that I called their number, but it came up a business number from my phone. And I said, I haven't called you.
Huh.
But
Oh.
they said my number showed up
Oh,
with
they spoofed your number. Right,
with a
right.
business
Gotcha.
name on it. Which I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was strange. But
Yeah.
the guy said it wasn't him. He said, sorry. I said, okay. So I ended up blocking him. So
Yeah, I block
this
stuff
is
too.
crazy.
I got a call about 10 days ago from somebody saying that they were with Amazon and is telling me that it looked like there was something irregular going on with my account.
Yeah, they sent me a message the other day.
Yeah.
I just went and found that message yesterday when I was going through all my messages.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
I don't have an Amazon account.
Right. I said, look, if I have a problem with my Amazon account, let me call Amazon. I'll handle it. And boy,
See,
that
that's what I
call
was
went
gonna do.
dead.
See, that's exactly what I was going to do. Because I've
Mhm.
gotten that message a few times the past couple of months. And I said, you know what? Let me call Amazon myself and ask
Yeah,
them to say,
I'll
hey,
always.
do you have my name on an account just in case it could be fraudulent? Because somebody did tamper
Mhm.
with my bank account a few months ago and did order something from Amazon out on the
Okay.
West Coast.
Yep. So just be aware, y'all. Any messages, any kind of
Okay,
phone
TZ
call you
says they
get.
do duplicate numbers. But see,
Yes, they
that's
do.
scary because how can you duplicate the number?
Somehow or other, they're able to make it come up on your phone as
A
not
local
the number they're
Yeah.
calling from.
Yeah,
Right.
because when I go back in and I realize that's the last number, I was just on the phone talking to somebody because I didn't dial the number. The person had to call me because I was just on the phone with them. It
Yeah.
was a local cell phone number.
Yep. Yep. They're trying everything they can
And what's
think of.
weird is it had the preface numbers identical to my number, which I found odd.
Well, see, I've had calls like that too with the almost my number
Yeah, the
off
first
a
three
digit
numbers are
or two.
identical.
Yeah, but yeah,
Which I find that suspicious.
everybody just be on your toes and.
Well, I have two separate lines. So
Mm.
one line I have, which is my main line I use, I don't get them kind of calls on that one. It's on the other line I have. That's an older line.
Older line.
Yeah, that just means the one that just keeps getting all these like spam calls or whatever.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Jeez. My dad always said, "Be on your toes." The thief
well, you have
is
to.
always in the shadows.
Everything. Shopping.
Yeah.
How you carry your purse. Put it over your
I'm
body.
very aware.
Strap. You have
Yeah.
to think about that. Bumping into people. Don't sit too close to people with your purse.
Yeah.
Conversations. Don't tell too much of your personal business. So that's the thing about it. All the social media. This is how people find you, dox you, stalk you. Because we as people tend to talk too much. And here in the South, people talk a whole lot. That's why people
Yeah.
know so much about people in the South. Because they don't know when to shut up.
It's true.
You got to walk in the doctor's office. Everybody knows your son just got a penitentiary. Your girlfriend's knocked up and pregnant. Messed up rehab. He needs $20 to ride the bus.
Oh, you're telling too much truth
Lady,
now. It's the truth.
What's your government name again? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I
Yes.
know your government name, and I know everything about what happened to you yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
People
Do
got
I
to
have your
stop doing
birth
that.
date right? Yeah. Exactly.
And he pushed me down, and I hurt myself, and I broke my ankle. Oh my God! I was in the hospital for 3 hours, and the X-ray machine wouldn't work. And dog, he needed dog food.
Can I get you some more tea?
Damn.
I know we do give it all up. We just that's well, we are very sociable beings here in the South.
I mean, but you got to stop that. I tell people that all the time, that talking excessively
Mm-hmm.
to random strangers. Sometimes, we'd be a little bored. It may even be a little lonely. This just want to make conversation.
Uh-huh.
You got to know when a little slight joke, it needs to be that's just that. I'm very humorous when I'm out shopping in a store. I give a little light humor. But everybody just does not need to know just everything verbatim from what was wrong with the coffee maker today, what happened at the red light. You understand what I'm saying?
I know, and I need to buy these numbers put on my house on so and so street. Yeah.
I mean,
just so people will know where you live.
Because one thing I don't like about Southerners, the questions you ask. Who's your mother? Excuse me? Why are you asking me that? You're not supposed to ask people that. I'm telling you, you go up north, you wouldn't dare ask somebody who their mother and father is. But that's something they do here. Look, here comes a troll right in as soon as I started talking.
Yeah. Boom.
Bam, right there.
Talked them up.
Yeah.
It's a truth. It's a
Somebody
thing in the
already got
South about like who you're related to, trying to place you in a family, trying to place
Yeah.
you, you know, in
You
some
look
in a
familiar, and who's your people, and then you don't even got to look like nobody. You can look like a Martian, and somebody will say, "Who your daddy is?" Your daddy. That's your. We got the same daddy.
How you know who your daddy is, except your mama told you.
You so sick. But that's just to me rude.
It
And a lot
well,
of people tell me that you should, Angela, but you know, it's you've been living here long enough. You know how it is. I don't care how it is. I said this is the
Yeah.
reason why we have problems, because you don't know when to shut up.
yeah, yeah. Well, there was a time when that wouldn't have hurt, you know. But these days, you can't just be telling people who your daddy is. You know, where you
That's
came
my
from,
point.
what your middle name is, and what
And
your
that's my
mama's middle
point.
name.
You
You
start
know,
telling somebody who your daddy is, your mommy is.
Yeah.
Then when they say something out of the way, you ready to fight.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you for instance. Many years ago, I was sitting out in front of an apartment building, and this girl was a young girl sitting out on a bench across from me. Another lady came up and started talking to her, and then she asked her who her daddy was, and she told him this is exactly what she said. Damn, your daddy's the biggest whore in Knoxville.
Oh, oh my God.
I was speechless. And you know, like y'all say, that's rough for the queen.
Well,
But you know, I'm
yeah.
about to get into that because that ain't none of my business. Oh, I've been over there fighting this old ugly heifer. How you gonna tell that girl her father's biggest whore in Knoxville?
I mean, really, was she looking for a fight?
I mean, that's just disrespectful.
Loose lips sink ships.
And I just thought to myself, how do you just fix your face to say that to another human being? Your daddy the biggest whore in Knoxville. Well, what your daddy is? Damn.
Ooh, ooh. That's
Now,
a fighting word. That's a fighting word.
This
Somebody
is
got a lot of
why
teeth.
you don't need to tell people who your mama, daddy, brother, sister, because small towns, people don't get along. They done fell out with people. And that's one thing I've learned about this town. You best to keep all your comments to yourself, because you might be talking to somebody's sister, half sister, brother,
Right.
cousin. They're
Yeah.
married into the family. You get to running that mouth about, yeah, I don't like her. She woo woo woo. First thing somebody say, that's my cousin.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And
And now you just stepped in
get
it.
your foot in your mouth. Right.
Uh-huh. Ooh. It's true. The less, I think that's why Jesus said, let your yea be yea and your nay
Thank
be
you,
nay.
Donna.
Like, keep your mouth shut. Don't be giving away all your information.
Well,
Because the next thing that happens is that person contacts you on Facebook saying, hey, I know your family. I know your daddy, blah, blah, blah. So you think it's a friend.
And then they'll go in,
Mhm.
messenger, like what they do on YouTube. No,
That's right.
yes.
Yeah.
Messaging people, asking questions about you, the daddy, the cousin.
Yeah.
That's why all that friend to friend is dangerous. That's why a lot of people don't have their friends list open on
Right.
Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's how people can start asking people about you. What you
Yeah.
know about him, what you know about her, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, these people are cutthroat. Even if it's just a guy looking at your picture, think you're cute, pretty. Now he wants to message you. Yeah, he'll go ask somebody about you. They do that now just to contact you. Oh, I
Yeah.
saw your picture, such and such, and you're like, you saw my picture. So you just message some random person.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
dangerous.
It's a clever approach, but it's deadly. Can be. Too many people turn up dead for no reason at all. Well, they were talking to somebody online. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
I can tell you it's been daunting as a single woman.
I
It's
know.
been very daunting. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know how I made it this far to 51
Yeah.
when there was no, social media stuff going on 20, 30
Yeah.
years ago. But now that's all that's going on. And these men, I'm telling you, they don't want nothing. I don't care if they're tall, short, fat, Arab, Indian, black, white, it doesn't matter. They don't want nothing. Their conversation is dead. Their nasty mouth. They just like some guy messaged me the other day and asked, could he send me a booty picture, a booty pic?
Oh my God. No, you may not.
But he obviously, was a gay guy. And then he said, I can dance for you and I can send you also a video. Why do I want to see a guy's booty shake in a video or a picture? Well, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-mm.
It was such a turnoff. I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, you knew right off the bat there.
Yeah, the first
that wasn't
line,
happening.
can I send you a booty pic?
Yeah.
When did you ever hear a man say he wants to send a woman a picture of his ass?
Oh, no, no, no. That's so wrong.
I mean, I'm just sitting here saying, mostly men will say, do you want to see my, you know,
Yeah.
my friend?
Yeah.
Not my buttocks.
Right. The other angles.
I was just baffled. Then I got a message from another guy asking, do I like to shower men with gifts and money? Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, I totally do.
Oh, I
here's
cussed him out.
Yeah, here's all my information.
Yeah,
too.
I cussed him out. I told him, you need to get you an effing job. That's what I told him. Block.
I like to shower them with employment.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, T, he was wild now. I mean, and then I had a white man send me a picture of his private parts.
Uh-huh.
And I told myself, well, God's been really good to you. I didn't say that. That's what I said to myself.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, wow. Whatever happened to, hello? Is it me you're looking for?
Yeah.
You just sent me a picture of your anatomy.
Uh-huh.
And you don't even know if I'm the real person behind the pictures I got up. I'm just done.
I know. It's ridiculous what's going on out there. I'm so glad that, you know, I'm kind of past all that. I gave up on that a while back.
Well, you know,
it's just, you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who to trust. It makes you suspicious of everybody.
He made a comment about that the other day about meeting and greeting. He wants to do it the natural way. And I thought, what is the natural way exactly? Because you got to remember all the herring stories that happen on the news.
Yep.
Those people met people the natural way and they're no longer living.
Correct.
So what is the natural way to meet someone? Because what I tell people all the time is the same people that's on the sites, on the date sites, are the same people who are dating people, married to people, and living beside you, your neighbor, friend, coworker. So there's no such thing as a certain type that's on social media, you know, stalking people, trying to hook up. They're the same people that you talk to every day. And I can't make people understand that.
Right. Exactly.
Because people have fixated on the horror stories of online dating, people messaging people through the apps as this secretive group that's a bunch of sadists that stay on the sites. But what they don't understand is the same people that you talk to every day, they're on the sites. And some of them happen to be in relationships. I'll give you, for instance, now, we could just really share and go deep. There's somebody who messaged me the other day, and I just saw him at the bar Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
With his little Teletubby.
Okay.
And I mean, she had all her green eggs and ham hanging out.
Oh, my word. Okay.
Yeah. She had this little skirt on that connected to a top, and then the sides it's got cutouts all the way from the sides to the back. And I thought, baby, you ain't got no shape for that. What the hell you got on?
That is not a good look.
Yeah, I'm looking at your little baby fat, and her wasn't cute. And he's sitting there geeked up, dancing on her. And I said to myself, I told somebody, I could really be a bitch and just walk over there right in front of him and her and say, you look so familiar. Aren't you on the dating site? And that little girl would pass out. You hear me?
Yep.
Because I've seen those show out back when it was warm. They were fighting outside because he allegedly was holding a conversation with another crazy female, my stalker. And then he jumped in a car and threw a bottle.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And I'm like, how are you throwing a bottle when you're the one talking to another woman? Even though he may not have meant no harm, but you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So I thought to myself, hell, he's a fucking retard. Next thing I know, I look up, I see a message from somebody, and I'm like, oh my God, this person looks so familiar. And I fell out laughing. I said, oh my God, that's that guy that threw the bottle that night.
Yep.
It's so crazy. And now he has sent me a message again, and I thought, baby, Queen ain't interested.
No, move on. I'm moving on. Watch my back till it becomes a tiny dot. God. Yeah. Well, you know, you could think, okay, maybe I would meet a nice guy in church, but so you might meet him, but you find out there later they're a serial killer.
Ron is saying, I like to tell them I'm a heroin addict, prostitute,
dude.
Some of them still hit on me.
Yeah, that's appealing to some people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the one that might put you in a little short tune. That's okay. But I tell people the stories that I can share.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. There was a story I was going to share earlier. We talking about the love fraud.
Yeah, love fraud.
I can't even remember what story it was. I have so many. That's why people always tell me, "Oh my gosh, you have such an interesting life." No, I don't. I meet fools, male and female. Queen just come across some crazy ass people.
It's
I got a story for everything you could think of. Crazy people, white, black, short, tall, racist, everything you could think of. I got a damn story.
I know on your birthday night you had a girl hitting on you that wanted to, get in your face and
that's the bitch that the guy was talking to when he threw the bottle months ago.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Yeah. Well, that story.
We all were walking out of the bar.
Uh-huh.
They were just holding a lightweight conversation, and then the girlfriend got mad because he and her were talking. Now she's become somebody that wants to stalk me.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy is now sending me messages on the text.
Oh, that is one twisted up story you got there, kid.
That's why I like going out of town, seeing different people. But you know what I tell myself? That's not going to matter either, because your odds will be just the same.
Yeah, same kind of people.
Yeah, because
where you just
people.
Came from.
Yeah, it will be, because I just talked to a guy recently, and he was wanting me to drive to Georgia to see him. And I said, well, we haven't talked enough for me to,
absolutely
gas my car up. And I know how they get down in Atlanta. That would be a robbery.
Yeah. Enticing you somewhere.
Yeah, that would be I moved in my other room. That would be a serious situation of, I get there, wherever it is, house, apartment, some people jump out with fucking guns.
Yep.
Steal my car, my wallet, debit card, everything. And now I'm sitting here down in Atlanta stranded if they don't kill me. So I said, nah. So I told him, I said, well, why don't you just come up here and visit?
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, maybe give me a minute to try to get myself together, because he said he was drinking some wine or something. So I said, I don't hear men drinking wine much. I start thinking, like, oh God, or is he gay? What? That's not to be funny, but they do say there are a lot of homosexual gay men in Atlanta.
Yes.
So, okay, so I didn't think no more about it. Time went on. I started getting dressed Saturday. He never called back to say if he was going to come visit. Nothing. I haven't heard from him since, and we're now on Wednesday.
Well, there you go. He backed on away from that.
So
Maybe he was.
Says, I think I would go to church.
He might want to steal your car.
I hope you don't mean go to church to meet a man, honey. Bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
Church don't mean nothing. Church is no different than the grocery store, the date site. It's all the same. I keep trying to tell people are people.
People are flawed everywhere.
The people I have seen on the site, they are in relationships. So that's why I keep telling people, stop believing the hype that there's a certain type of person on the site. Everybody's on the site.
And you always remember,
even the people that's married, even the people that's separated, even the people that's in relationships, they're on the site.
Yeah. Always remember that Don Wells went to church too.
Oh my God. Okay.
I was just reading, somebody was talking about, they could, the crazy people always come for them.
Yeah.
Now that's my story too.
Well,
I don't care.
I go into 60, I give the hell up. Well, I'm 9 years behind you, and I understand that feeling. And it's a terrible place to be, because as I told somebody a day ago, 2 days ago, or rather 3, I said, I'm not in a place to keep playing these type of games. I am no longer 20, 30 something years old. Right. I am 51. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
This is what you need to understand. I don't have that kind of time to play phone games with you. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to phone tag you. I don't want to chase you. I don't want to text you. And that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't want to text a grown-ass man. And that's my right.
Right. It certainly is. And
I know people that's into that texting shit. And I tell you, you are devoid of human emotion if you can't hold a conversation. Because If that's all we're going to do is text, then we don't even need to see each other. We can just fucking text back and forth for an hour while you're watching the Lakers play. I mean, what? It's ridiculous.
While you lying to me about who you are anyway.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Text. Even those foreigners, when they start out, that's the first thing they want to do. Can I text you on WhatsApp? Can I text you over here? Can I text you over here on this site? No. Why would we leave a site where we're texting to go text to another site?
Yeah.
That makes no logical sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a grown person who is real, all he want to do is give you a phone number for you to text to a real number. Are we ever going to video chat and exchange pictures? And that's another thing they want to do. Send me a pic. Look, Negro, you got nothing but pictures of me up here already.
Yep.
Download one of them and put it in your damn telephone.
Yeah, you can watch hours and hours of me if you want to.
Because I tell them, you're asking me for a picture that I already uploaded to the profile. Because usually when I take a new picture, I put a new one up every now and again. So I don't need to send you a damn picture. I'm going to send you a fucking picture you're already looking at.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll send you a picture. You send me a bank statement.
That don't mean nothing either.
And then we'll talk. Your bank statement, yeah.
Yeah, sending you Bubba Ray's bank statement.
Yeah. Ooh,
but I
scary.
was looking at somebody in the queue. There's a YouTuber. I think her name is Gossip Girl or Gossip something. She put up a little post about a week or two ago that said, if a man is saying WYD in a text, you don't need to be talking to him. Well, and I understood what she meant, because why would a grown woman want somebody saying what you doing?
Oh yeah, what you
understand
doing?
What I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Now with the social media thing, people abbreviate stuff.
True. Yeah.
You know, instead of saying how are you, HRU.
Yeah.
Well, I understood that point. Do you really want to be responding to somebody that's saying WYD? You feel me?
Killing me.
Even if I see a 50-something-year-old man texting me, what's good? What's good? Let me think. My coffee maker's good. The coffee I'm putting in the coffee maker's good. My lipstick's good.
Yeah.
My bed feels good.
Life is good.
Feel good. Yes, life is good.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Yeah, that's what's good.
Just.
But you ain't good.
Yeah, that's right. But it's the street lingo that, yes, at some point it needs to cease.
That kind of stuff is shallow to me. It's overdone. It's like I don't mind typing, what's going on? How are you? I don't mind typing stuff like that.
Or somebody says, I hate texting. Good morning text annoying me so bad. Well, see, that's the whole thing. We're all different creatures. But I'm speaking from a woman who is older. I do not want to text you. Baby, we are past that texting shit. That's for 20 and 30-year-olds. I don't want to text you. If you want to hold a long-winded conversation with the queen, we know each other. We just met. It doesn't matter. I'm getting ready to cut that short. Because I'm not going to sit here and get arthritis in my damn good fingers texting you back and forth. And I
Listen,
will text you everything that happened at the White House. So you really want to text me everything that happened at the Capitol?
Oh, Lord, no.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Winded conversations.
Well, now here's another one. You get on somebody they've tapped up 7-8 people to talk to as a group. We're at the game and it's blah blah blah, and they might just score and everybody has to go woo woo, yeah, right. And my phone dings every time somebody feels like they need to say, oh yeah, that's great. I get really out. I want off that thread real bad, real
just
quick.
Remove yourself out.
Well, I do. But before I can get to that, everybody's responded in some way and my phone is blown up. Now I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. So I'll just do my little thumbs up and leave.
R.R. said that the guy she went on a date with, he said he was at least 60 with tax. I got to use that one.
60 with tax.
Instead of saying 60 plus. Instead of saying 60 plus. God, that's hilarious. I love that. That is golden. Well, I as of late, most of the men that I do attract, they are younger. I attract a lot of young men. And I do like them kind of young. I ain't ashamed to tell you. But I can't have you so young to where I got to decide if I'm going to give you Gatorade or Infamia.
Good night, Louis. Come back. Come back.
All right, good night, baby. You understand what I'm saying? Let's see. We're going to either go to Burger King or McDonald's and get a Happy Meal with a side of Gatorade slash cut apple slices and a damn Infamia.
But let's be clear, you ain't getting no breast milk. Not now, not ever.
If you get some milk out of here, somebody better call the paramedics.
A priest.
Because there's some funny shit going on if you get milk out these boom booms. Louis Craig to my 6th Street still have my teeth. Well, I still got mine. God is good. Amen. But it's just hard.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of.
Life and say, you know, God may bless me with a couple of more good years. I don't know how many more years he's going to give me. So let's think about that at 51. I don't want to be phone tagging nobody.
No.
Can you imagine 51, then 55, then 60, and I'm steady doing this?
Yeah.
Are you going to call me? When you going to call? I tried to call you. Your phone went to voicemail. I mean, at 50, there's no way I should ever have this conversation with anybody.
That's true. That's true. That you're moving out of that phase.
Yeah, but you're not even supposed to be in that phase at 50. You really shouldn't even be in that phase of at 40 asking somebody why their phone's going to voicemail, why you can't talk to them. So later, this is an excuse I'm getting. Well, the phone's messed up. Okay, this was the shit I heard from you a month ago. By now, shouldn't your phone... You should have worked a phone plan out or a new phone situation. You work, you have a job. So get you a viable phone that can ring, answer, receive texts. You see where I'm going?
I just tell them, look, I just went into hiding for a while. That was why I hadn't called back.
Well, see, it's harder when you like the person.
Well, that's true. It is. And we're my real good friends.
We're not talking about a phone game with somebody that I don't like. That would be no problem with moving on.
Yeah.
But if I like the person, then that's where the problem is.
Well,
all right. This is Tennessee too, Louis Riggs. Good night from East Tennessee, sweetheart. Thank you. But it's just daunting, the whole shebang, and I'm tired of it. And I'm just like, well, I guess it'll just be me and the Roku.
Can I just tell you something that I've been thinking about lately about your age?
Okay.
I remember very well when I turned 50, it seemed like there was a shift in my life. There's an inventory you start to take that you never have before.
Okay.
And I see you in that. You are editing your life. And you're saying, you know, these are things I don't have time for anymore. I've been doing this stuff for years. I've been being nice, and I'm not getting anything back. And I'm gonna start not giving out as much as I have been.
Yeah, it's too much, because the past couple of months I've done that and catered to a few, and it's just like I'm over it.
You're in a shift.
It's like I'm holding conversations with minor children.
Yes, and they're just things.
And I don't have any reason to be doing that. Exactly.
You're tired of the same old.
And I'm tired. And I tell myself that I don't want to spend my last days here catering to kids, grown kids.
Yes. You're absolutely right. And that just happens at that stage, this particular stage of life. And I'll tell you something else. It starts to clear the way for a less frustrating life.
Well, and that's the thing. You're telling the truth. Because I put my cards on the table with somebody recently, told them how I felt, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's not going to go where I want it to, because they're not in that space. They're not in that headspace for whatever reason. And that is their prerogative. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
I don't have to ride the ride, because I can no longer do the back and forth dance with this person. It just can't keep going, you know, back and forth.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying my best to just like move on. So much time goes by. You know how you think about a person, you want to call, you want to talk to them, but your better half is saying, you've been down this road. You know how they are.
Yeah. You've been on this merry-go-round before.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you, just from what I can observe in you these days, I can tell there's a great level of frustration, but you're doing something about it. You're like, okay, I've done this and done it to death, and I'm not doing it anymore.
I know, but you know what? There's times I tell myself that, and then a couple weeks, a month go by, and then I'm right back holding the conversation with the food.
It's okay. It'll kick in. It'll kick in. There'll come that moment when it just, you will walk away. You will do it, and you won't walk back because you're like, I just keep going back in this torture. Why do I want to go in that room whenever I know I go in that room, I get beat up?
Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. 10 more Christmases, 10 more birthdays. Exactly. At 51, I could fall over tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want my last moments to be playing hopscotch and on, phone tag with another grown adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like these are the moments, even if I was in my 20s, I don't recommend playing these games because that's still shaving off years of your life, days off your life, playing with a nobody,
right?
Motherfucker that don't want nothing, playing fucking games with you.
Right.
You could be out here enjoying yourself, traveling, doing things with your friends, and you're sitting here messing around with some loser, whether you're 22 or you're 32. It's all the same to me.
Yeah.
The time you can't get back. And that's why I'm very funny about my time. I do not like my day wasted on nonsense.
I know.
Period. I don't care what it's about. Don't waste my time.
Right.
And so if I got to call you, and I know you see the number, you hear the number, you don't want to call back. Okay. But then you want to wait a week or two and then dial my number like you on fire.
Yeah. Right.
That shit burns me up.
Okay, so yeah, you can offload that one right there. Just say, you can't afford to keep exposing yourself to a thing that doesn't pay off.
Yes, and that's
you
it.
keep investing and it ain't paying off.
Yeah.
So
I'm not benefiting in the long run because that's what we've learned about people like this. It's temporary.
Yeah.
Today we're okay, then tomorrow it's fly by night bullshit back over again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know this is going to sound kind of old maidish talking. I'm sincere about what I say.
Yeah.
There came a time when I felt just like you did, only I had gone back and gone back and gone back. And I suddenly realized I am not doing that again.
Yeah.
And so I'm not interested in the dating life anymore. I have great friends. I have family members. I am content in my life. Now I can say, okay, but I missed this and this. Okay, so I missed it. As I see it, there's also a lot of frustration I missed out on by thinking I missed a good time.
Thing. What's the trade-off? Versus I want companionship. I want somebody to care about me. I want somebody I can spend time with, do things with, versus playing mind games.
Exactly, because that stuff it's too much of a game these days. I don't have the energy, first of all, to put into the games that go on in courtship, because everybody out on a date, there's a monster back home tied in the closet that you don't meet till too late. They're out there playing nice, using the right fork, saying the right thing.
He playing games and got somebody in the cellar.
And after you kind of get to a serious point, you stopping over at their house and dadgum, that closet door swings open and out comes Godzilla.
Please.
It's like,
but that's how it is.
Right. And you have so much wisdom, and I can tell it's kicking in on your social life.
Yeah,
now.
it's just it's wearing me down because I feel like I'm pretty much a happy-go-lucky person. I wake up and I'm in good spirits when I wake up and everything. But it's like, when am I going to meet somebody? Because I feel like my time is winding down. I don't have that kind of time to waste and play around. I'm not in my 20s and 30s anymore. I'm at the hump. So the hump means I've lived damn near a whole life at 51.
Yeah.
That's a whole life. So I don't have time to play with you on a cell phone.
You don't. You really don't.
Now I tell people all the time, when I look at my cell phone and the other phone and the computer and this iPad shit, there's days I could just take all this shit and throw it in a garbage can and go back to the old way of a landline. You either call me or you don't.
There you go.
That's just that's my mentality. Yeah. That's why a lot of people can't jive with me, because I don't dance like other people dance. See, and that's the reason I tell people, if I was to fall in behind some of you people, I'd be dead. Because some of you people have me dead the way some people act.
Well, I got to be honest with you. My nerves couldn't take it anymore. I just thought this
Right.
is wearing me out. It's making an old woman out of me, and
Yes.
I'm still a kid in my brain. So
And that's how I feel.
I don't need the aggravation.
And that's how I feel. When I
Right.
look in the mirror, I still see a young 20-something-year-old
Me
Angela.
too.
I don't
Yep.
see a 51-year-old. So this shit that these folks are throwing at me, all these old crazy mind games, and
Mhm.
you know, you're going out, somebody's mean mugging and looking crazy, and
Yeah.
want to step on your foot to dance with some Negro that ain't my damn man. Then you got some stalker. She want to stalk you because she's psychotic. Then the one you like, he can't decide what page he want to be on. It's like, you know what? I'm too busy for taking all you motherfuckers and putting you in a hot pot on the stove and boiling you down to the nub.
You just said it. I'm gonna remind you that
You
you said
understand what
that.
I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I got over that a lot longer ago than you're getting.
I'm just thinking about it. I feel like calling all of them, telling them, guess what? I'm having a party.
And none of you are invited.
Put your best gear on. Because I'm getting ready to boil all y'all asses in a big old simmering pot.
Welcome to your roast.
I mean, oh Lord have mercy.
Oh, you know what? It's the truth. CR is just talking about taking a trip to England. The world is great to travel when you're single.
Yes,
See, those are things
and
you don't want to be encumbered, and you got to go see the wide world.
You do.
Because that's something that's so filling and so.
That's why I went out of town by myself. I could have easily invited somebody else along. I could have easily asked somebody to tag along, just like this crazy ass bat. I told her Saturday that I went out of town, and she was like, "You should have came and got me, bitch. You don't even call the phone. You don't even pick up a phone and say hello, nothing.
Should have called me.
I ain't going to take you nowhere, so you can be moaning, complaining, falling out with somebody, a complete stranger that's trying to beat us to death. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's not being good company. You know, good company is somebody roll with you.
Nah.
You know.
I enjoyed my space because I laid out, stretched out on my own. I got up when I wanted to. You understand what I'm saying? I ate when I wanted to. There was nobody to complain.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't be complaining about somebody else's time. Yes. And then, too, it takes me forever to get dressed. So somebody be bitching me out, talking about I'm taking too long to get ready. And I'll be like, let me tell you something. I'm like my mama now. I'm slow as a turtle. Because I used to be complaining.
Yes.
Years ago about my mother, how long it took her to get dressed. Like, come on, let's go. We're ready to go.
Let's go. We're going to be
guess
late.
What? I've now become that person that I was just loathing about how slow they were getting dressed. Because I do what she do. Instead of getting ready, going in the bathroom, getting myself together, I'm in a paddling with something, opening up something, opening up a box like it's Christmas. Oh my God. What is that?
Yeah, this wig or that one. I don't know. Look good.
Oh my God, there's a stain on top of the countertop. Let me wipe that up.
Oh, I know that drill.
See, I'm OCD like that. And so I tell myself, Angela, you got to stop this. You're going to go to the grave, wiping up a stain, a piece of lint. Let it sit there, baby. Get it when you come back.
I know. I start off doing one thing and end up doing 10 myself. I know.
And that's what takes up all my time. See, because I do stuff like that. Then I go into the YouTube queue. That YouTube queue is really taking up all my time. Checking to see the latest content, this and that. And I told myself, you can turn YouTube off.
Yeah. Well, T's about to turn it off. She's out there telling her Benadryl.
All right, T.
Good night, T.
Baby. We get ready to shut it down. I'm at 3:27. Let me shut it down. But anyway, I'm just tired. That's all.
I know you are. I can tell that you are. But, but look, you have to be at this stage to finally get so disgusted and discouraged that you just finally put it on the shelf, walk away to a better life.
Yeah.
You know, what do you got to lose but your misery right now?
That's true.
Basically.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't want to be that person. Because that to me would be the ultimate betrayal to myself.
Right.
Is to be this age and then become that bitter lady.
Yeah.
Because of what Peter, Paul, Dick did. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. You have this great energy. You have really great positive energy. Well, people are drawn to that. They will suck you dry.
And that's what's been going on. And I think that's exactly what they see when I go out.
Yeah.
She ain't pregnant about nothing. She ain't into nothing. Let me go in and steal what joy I can see going on.
They want what you got. And they will take all that you will give, but they will not think about giving back, recharging your battery.
And I see that. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna check out of here. When I went out Saturday night, I walked in the room to the left, which is the new room that they opened up. It's a bigger space, right? And one of my good friends, the one I took the picture with on the community page, he was sitting at the end of the bar. So I walked over there and we were wrestling on who wanted to sit at the end of the bar. Because I told him I want to sit where I can see everybody. So the bartender lady, barmaid, she got a little tissy because she wanted me to move the chair from the side. She's like, no, move it down. She told him, y'all just switch places. And he's like me. He wants to sit at the end. I want to sit at the end because I want to see who's coming in. I don't want to sit with my back to
open. Oh yeah.
Anyway, sit down. There's a lady sitting at the end that I know of, and we speak with cordial. I don't have a problem with her. When I spoke, she was dry. So the first thing I thought was, last time I saw you in here, which was probably some weeks ago, a month ago, you're just jovial. Doing, all that conversation, you talking about this guy and this and that, and y'all good friends. So what I thought was, what's the problem tonight where you're not as, be happy usually. So I didn't pay no attention. I kept talking to my friend. We was enjoying each other's company. And then, you know how you can just glance at a person and you realize they are watching you from foot to head.
Oh, yeah. Got a vibe off that. Yeah.
Yes, I did. She was watching me from foot, like she was sizing me up. So then I said, I see what this is about. You noticing something about the queen, but see, what you noticing is what's always been there. I'm the same all the time.
Right. So.
And I smiled, she smiled back, but it was never like it was before when she last saw me over a month ago. Hey, how you doing? Whoop, whoop, whoop. See,
right. It was cold.
It was dry. Dry.
Yeah. Oof.
So what I thought was, she saw something different in the queen, and you know what it was?
What?
That long hair wig with the bangs. I wore that.
Okay. All right. She's seeing a different side of you. Yeah. But your personality is the same.
The queen's still the same.
You just package differently.
Wig, no wig. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's right. You're you no matter what.
I'm the same all the time. But I told myself that's exactly what it was. You walked in there looking different, feeling good, same good you always feeling, but queen couldn't stand that. It was obvious.
Yeah.
Because I caught her looking at me. Because, I had my back turned because, like I told you, the bar's facing. Your back is to the opening of the room. So when I happened to be sitting in the chair, I just swung around so I could see the people coming in. And that's when I caught her looking at me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes you can be uncomfortable.
Well, it didn't make me uncomfortable. It just showed me that she obviously saw something in the queen, that she was eyeing the queen.
Well, she may have been wondered how you managed to keep a good disposition all the time when she couldn't do that.
Yeah, because I was looking at them little tight ass leggings she had on when she got up to leave her little food. And I thought, your ass too big for them little lace ass leggings. I said
it. You so bad.
Them leggings was all up in the crack of her ass, and I said, honey, they hollering. You hear me? Yes, threatened. I guess so.
Yeah,
and this was so sad because, like I said, I don't have any issues with this person to my knowledge. So I found it. I could feel the coldness, the dryness. I don't like to use the word cold, but she was dry.
My impression is she was there by herself, right?
Yes, she was.
And you weren't. You had somebody you were enjoying being with.
Yeah, well, I came along. I came and he was just sitting by himself. And then I walked over and then he told me to pull up a seat.
There you go. Well, she might have been thinking she was going to ask.
But we all know of each other. So it's not like it was a stranger type situation. She know of me. She know of him. So it ain't no stranger type situation. But I could tell that when I spoke, it was dry. And it stayed dry up until she walked up out of there.
Oh, see, you had light on you. And she was jealous of the light.
Yeah, because when I went a couple months ago to another town to a function, she was there. She had me sit at the table with her and this other lady.
My God! Okay,
right, okay.
That's just bizarre.
So it was very dry, as I just said. And I said, what it was, you walked in there with that blonde wig on and you stole the show.
You did.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Honey, because I walked in there Saturday night, honey, with that old imitation Versace leggings on.
Girl, they
were blue with all these pretty, it was a pretty print.
Come on.
And then I had this yellow top on, and honey, and then, you know, I had my little jingle jangles and my accessories on. Baby Quinn was working that room. I could work a room.
I know you were dressed to the nines. I don't have any doubt.
Let me tell you something. I have confidence as if I was a size 6. I don't think about that size, none of that. Right. Queen. Yeah. And I told myself, that's what it was. You walked in, new look, and she looking like, damn, look at her. You damn right, look at she.
And she ain't changed her look. So, yeah, a little jealousy jumped in too, I expect.
Oh, yeah, because I think she had her hair pulled up. She has pretty hair. She's very pretty hair, but she had it pulled up.
Well, you were letting your hair down.
The queen walked in there with some Korean hair. Shut your mouth.
Like you own the place. I know you did.
Look, for that night, I had to put $5.95 down on the butcher block. On the butcher block, baby.
Knowing you did. Lord have mercy.
But you know, that happens sometimes, that people can look at you in a different light than what they've seen of you.
Yes, that's true.
You realize, true. Yeah, because people can look at a person and be like, you know what, I really didn't get to know that person well, and they were seeing really nice, and that's probably what she saw that night was a different side of me, or just a different look per se, a personal, physical look, and maybe she was taken aback.
Well, you know what, when you walk in and you've got confidence and you're like, hey, I'm walking in like I own this place because nobody knows I don't. But, you know, she may lack that ability, and just, you know, I pick up jealousy out of this whole scene.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do, because you're showing, she may not know how to walk in a place and own it, you know. And so
look at Beth said she would probably go buy a blonde wig.
Well, yeah, and check those boots out. Where can I find them?
Well,
you know, next time you see her.
And look, if I go out this week or next week or whatever, I go back in there and she coming out with her Marilyn Monroe, kudos to her.
Yeah, and blue boots.
Girl, you know what? I think boots.
Trying to co-opt your look.
Look, hey, you know, black women, we've been robbing each other looks for years. We do that.
You know, what is it? Oh God. Damn it. I get so mad at myself. I'll start to say something and I forget exactly what.
I've been doing that.
If you're not a professional, you're a what? Amateurs. Amateurs copy, professionals steal.
Okay.
So, you know, been stealing each other's looks. Yeah.
So say that again.
Amateurs imitate. Professionals steal.
Oh.
You know, like I got that. She was checking out your look, figuring out how she can redo herself.
People, I'm always window shopping.
Okay. All right. Sunset's got it going on.
One thing about me, and any woman will tell you, I'm a congratulator. I see a woman, I don't care if she green, red.
Yeah.
You looking nice that day, I'm going to compliment you. You got on a pretty sweater, necklace, I'm going to compliment you. That's one thing about me. I don't walk around looking at some woman and be like, oh, I wish I looked like that. Or the only thing I wish I might have had is they ain't got no stomach. Okay, I got it. It's mine. But you understand what I'm saying? Just to see some woman and be just like, oh my God, I wish. That's shit we did when we were children. I ain't in that stage.
I do try to do that too. If I see somebody that's dressed nicely, or the hair looks good, or they're having a great hair day, I will tell them. I feel like I know what it means to me to be complimented in public by a stranger. Exactly. It makes my day. I live on that for a week. It's like that person saw me and they were so nice to say such nice things to me.
Exactly. And that's what most people need anyway, is a kind word.
Just a kind word changes the world eventually. If we'd all learn how to do it, we could change the world.
So I don't have a problem. And even with a gentleman, I don't have a problem telling a man, well, that's a nice shirt. I like your shoes, whatever. Yeah. And it's not that I'm flirting or nothing. It's just if I see something I like, I let a person know.
Right. You're being complimentary.
But some people won't do it.
Some people
can't do it.
I tell you what, the joy you get from doing it, they're missing out by not doing it.
Exactly.
You know, the more you give, the more you get.
This is true. This is true. Don't forget to contact me, Big Sexy 71.
Yeah, I won't. I wrote it down, so
can you remember? So we can make bread one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll try to have a topic. I may try to do a little I might try to talk about the tomorrow. I think I would like to talk about women being scammed, because I do think I need to do another video.
Yeah, that's a
on
great
that
topic.
subject matter, because that is still going on.
Yeah.
In this country and abroad. And I remember I watched a really terrible story of a Caucasian lady. She was from Ireland, I think, and she got hooked up with a Nigerian, and they have never found her.
Oh my.
She packed up everything, sold everything, and moved to Africa. And people started calling. She didn't respond. And when I last watched that documentary, that's been over a year ago, she's never been found. The last time
she gone.
Yeah.
She gone.
And that is just such a horrible story.
It is terrible.
To think a person has uprooted their life, an older woman hooked up with a younger African man, and nothing is left. No bank account, no pocketbook, no nothing. And
without a trace.
It seemed like he don't know where she at, where she went to. Well, dude, she just left a whole nother country to come be with you in this country. And you want us to believe that she left and went back where to Ireland. She didn't even have no money in bank accounts.
Yeah.
She literally had sold everything to be with this man. And then she finally rented her an apartment. But she didn't have nothing. I mean, nothing in her bank account. She was broke, literally.
That's heartbreaking. That really is.
And see, what I didn't understand is, why would you move to a country that's already, not the best country for most citizens? I mean, some white Africans live better, of course, but you got to think about a trade. Are you drawing some type of Social Security? All of that type of stuff, transferring all that stuff to a new country. So you have to know about all that kind of stuff before you just up and go meet somebody, marry somebody somewhere. She got to Africa. She didn't have nothing.
Oh man,
I remember that was said. Whoever checked her bank statements or whatever said she had no money.
Well, that's why
But see, he probably stole her identity to get credit.
Most likely.
Most
likely,
probably had good credit, and you know what you can do once you start laying down Social Security numbers, this and that. It was sad. And this man just acting like, I don't know what happened to her. I ain't seen her, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what you mean you ain't seen her? She came here to be with you. And the first thing I thought was, dear God, what did he do to that older lady?
Well, he did something. It's $1 billion business. I was listening to a program last week about it. Oh, it's horrible.
So scary. That's why I tell people to check out the YouTube queue. YouTube has some good documentaries and stories about
it does.
Everything, basically, from decorating to true crime. But there's a Canadian show that I do watch, and it's called Crimes She Solved, something like that. And it's stories where they were women detectives on the storylines.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's pretty good. And there's one in the queue I need to find by Real Stories. That's a YouTube channel that shows true crime stories.
I think I've checked that out. I think I have seen
the
some
Real
things
Stories.
Because those crime documentaries interest me as well. And,
because I got one lined up now, and it's about an older woman. She's talking, because when I started the video, I think I might have posted to my community page, but there's an older lady. She's starting out in the beginning, I guess, talking about probably how she got scammed by a man. It looked like this guy was an older man. He didn't look like a younger guy, older white man. And it's just sad, because the scammer comes in all sizes and colors. It's not always just a young man trying to get a older woman's money, or a younger woman getting an older man. It could be the same age. It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be. Yes, it could be. And
all right. Good night, Sunset. Thank you all so much. Look, the Tinder Swindler on Netflix is scary. Tinder. Oh, I got to check that out.
Yeah. I will.
Because I don't have Netflix now. Okay. So I'll have to see if I can find it. The Tinder Swindler. I have to write that down. Thank you so much, Houdanet, for joining me.
Hey, I loved every minute.
Hours. This is I don't have a life. See, if I had a man would have told me, if you don't get your ass off that computer.
Right. See, when you're by yourself, you don't have to ask permission. You don't have to ask forgiveness. You don't have to make them feel good about something you need to go do. Make them all right. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You just get up and do what you want to do.
I would try to be respectful and not You know what I'm saying? If we were dating, not to be up all night. This is windy. This almost 4 hours.
Oh yeah, you would get you're gonna hear from somebody about that.
Oh, I know I would. Yeah.
But if you were in a
said,
relationship,
somebody said something to me the other night. You're loud.
Mm-hmm. Oh. No. What you say? Go sleep. I'm busy.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Say goodnight, Dick.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining me. We veer off the topics from time to time, but thank you all. Tomorrow I'm going to try to bring you content pertaining to scammers. I think most women need to hear the information pertaining to being scammed by men on date sites and just in general. I'll try to bring as much information as I can. And who done it? Hopefully, I will have you join me up here.
I'd love to. Look forward to it.
Okay.
So you have a great night. Enjoy yourself. Night.
Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
Bye, baby.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye. All right. That was Who Done It. That's my girl. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you all for the super chats and the lovely conversation. And I will check out that Tinder swindler. I'm gonna be up for a little minute, so I'm gonna do a little research while I'm still up on my next live. But I thank you all for following the content, for sharing, new visitors, new subs. Welcome, new subs. Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you, Donna. Thank you all so much. I will be back with more stimulating conversation. And if you have any suggestions, drop it on the community page of something you want to talk about, grown folks conversation, because this is not a true crime network for those who think it is. It is not. I talk about various subject matters, breaking news, from Hollywood stars to random people. And I talk about true crime a lot, but I do like to talk about other things that affect us as adults. So if you have a suggestion, feel free to leave it on the community page. You all have a wonderful week. It's Hump Day in America, Wednesday. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye. Thank you, Donna.